Hey guys, it's Saturday, it's Make It Saturday, and you've got me on this side here today, so really a lovely day. We've already had a wonderful craft along earlier on, so you can always go back and watch that of course, and then you can craft along till your heart's content. We are bang on 2 p.m. here in the UK, and we are ready for our Saturday's Make It show. Now, for you guys that are here week after week, you know what happens when it comes to, of course, a Make It Saturday. You know the fun things that we have. But you know what? Because this is my first time on this side when it comes to the Make It Saturday, let's bring in our guest, where, of course, she was here earlier on. You can come in, it's all right. Can you come on?
I was waiting. Can I come in? Can I come?
Number two this
that
time.
One. I promise I'm going to do my best to look at the right camera, because anyone that tunes in every week knows I'm usually over there, I'm over there, up anywhere but where I need to be looking. So hello, happy Saturday.
Now, of course, Lily, I know exactly what we've got planned within this show. But maybe you want to then just remind us, you know, you're kind of like a Saturday regular, so what sort of things do we see on a Saturday?
Absolutely. So Saturday, Make It Saturday, it's all about having fun. It's all about crafting together. It's all about having fun together, which is exactly what we've got coming up today. So we've got a couple of demos coming up, but the one that I am probably most nervous about is the goodie bag. Because I promise you guys at home, I have not looked in the goodie bag as of every week. It's a mystery. So we'll have a little look with Craig as to what's in that goodie bag. Then I've got to make something. And I've not got my trusty helper today. George is not here, so I'm on my own. Yeah. So it could be
I was going to say, because I do believe there usually is a little bit of a segment that we do where you kind of then show or teach George something.
Yes.
Teaching me anything?
Well, I mean, I think you know a little bit about craft, but
we can a little bit.
We can try and teach Craig a few. What do they say? You can't teach an old dog new tricks. So.
Okay. On that note,
could be a long show.
Yeah, what we'll just do is we will just then have a look throughout the comments and the questions when it comes to, of course, that section with Lily. Now, before we crack on with the show, of course, all throughout the morning so far, we have seen all of your questions coming through from you guys stateside, of course, all about the new tax that has come into place here. Now, we did say earlier on that Sarah would be doing a video. Now, you're going to see right now, it was so imperative to Sarah to get a video and answer what questions she could do for you. She has done it live from her home. Here's a video, Sarah, explaining all about the taxes.
Hi everyone. So we've been listening to all of the questions and concerns and discussions in all of the communities and through our customer channels over the last 24 hours or so, and we're really aware that the increased tariffs imposed by the US government are resulting in a significant change to the cost of shopping with us at Crafters Companion for our US customers. So I wanted to take time to explain the situation personally for all of you. Now, whilst as a business, we strive to bring our products to our US customers at the lowest cost possible, we are obliged to do that in line with US government regulations, and they now include increased tariffs and fees and the removal of exemptions from fees for low-priced shipments. Now, we've been provided with software to add to our checkout, which means that we can ensure the new US government tariffs and fees are applied at the point of purchase, and that enables us to remit the correct amount of tax directly to the US government in line with US law. Now, these new charges applied solely cover the new tariffs and fees charged by the US government. You've got to understand, Crafters Companion have not applied any additional charges that we will benefit from as a business at all, right? Now, whilst our business is based in the UK, like the majority of craft products in the market, many of our products are manufactured in China. And the US regulations state that tariffs have to be applied based on the country of origin of the product. So that's where it's manufactured, which unfortunately means that these are subject to significantly higher tariffs than products that are manufactured in other countries. And since the tariff announcements a few weeks ago, we've been proactively exploring how we can shift some of our production to other countries, potentially to reduce the cost of tariffs for our customers. But this is a really delicate balancing act, because the benefit of manufacturing the products in China is lower production costs and therefore lower prices for customers. And moving our production to another country will inevitably increase the cost of products and therefore the prices that we're going to have to charge. So please, just rest assured that we are working tirelessly to try and minimise the impact of these tariffs for our customers. And in the meantime, we've decided that we're going to be bringing you Crafters TV shows to help you craft all of the cash that you already have and still provide some fantastic education and entertainment for our community. You must understand our US customers mean the world to us, and we are fully committed to navigating these changes with you.
Thank you very much to Sarah for that one. Hopefully that's answered some of the questions that you have had. If there is anything, of course, do reach out to the team. We'll help where we can. But with this being the Make It Saturday, one of the things that you guys have always loved is the goodie bag, where we're going to have a little look inside the goodie bag, what you're going to be able to get. And then I'm going to be passing it on to Lily just in a moment, where we're going to see what Lily's going to be doing. Now, when it comes to the goodie bag that I have got here, and in actual fact, before we just do that, we've got a few comments coming through. We've got both Rachel and Jan on the social again. We've got Lois is in saying, hi everyone from Ohio. We've got Love to Create is saying, hello Craig, Lily, CTV community and the team. So they're saying Rachel and Jan's on. We've got Jamie and we've got Big Pop Johnny in the gallery this morning, as well, of course, myself and Lily. We've got Lynn Harvey saying, hello again, Craig, Lily, the amazing CTV team, the wonderful social media superstar, and to everyone else. And then we've also got Trudy Bickham saying, hello, everyone. Well, hello to you. Now, of course, if you do have any questions all throughout the show, do, of course, just feed them through. We do have that craft clinic coming up later on when it comes to our water reactive ink pads. But yeah, now is certainly, or today in the show is definitely the show to be answering any of those questions while we've got Lily here with all of her fountain of knowledge. Now, some of that knowledge, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking from the ideas of what she does with, of course, the goodie bag. Now, the goodie bag here, £35, $45. Bringing in your platinum at £28 or $36. What I want to do is, if I refer to that £35 or $45, essentially, this is what you're going to be paying for here. So what we have got is our sparkle pens, our water-based sparkle pens in the most beautiful deep dark colours. You've got your spun gold, you've got your sterling silver, and you've got your onyx black here. These are your three sparkle pens here, water-based, lots of techniques, lots of colouring that you can be doing with them. Then what we've also got, a little bit of festive here, but you know when it comes to frame nesting dies, I'm a fan of them, Lily's a fan of them. You've got them in there, 8 dies in there, and then always been one of my favourites, the Gemini Mini number dies. So these are essentially what you're going to then be paying for on that today's price. What you're also then going to be getting, which is kind of ironic, when it comes to the 12 by 12 vintage Vegas paper pad, because today is National Scrapbooking Day. So you may have seen across on the socials, myself, Lily, the two Debbies have been popping up some scrapbook pages across on the social channels. I used mine with the vintage Vegas. Shock horror, it's wrestling themed, but that's in there completely free. Then what you're going to be getting as well at no additional cost is all of this. Now this is one I've not seen for a good wee while. This is a lovely 6x6 embossing folder, but you've got the die and the stamp that kind of centres within the middle, should you wish. Use the die on its own, use the stamp on their own, use the folder on their own, or it complements each other. So that's in there, no additional cost. We are going in with a little bit of our Harvest Festival here. That one's giving you your 9 die sets here. You've got your pumpkin, you've got squash in there, your foliage is in there. That's there, including 4 stencils from that Myths and Legends. Another one that's a firm favourite of mine because you've got that symmetrical look when it comes to the 4 of them. So 1 pack, but 4 stencils inside. You're going to be getting them. Then we're going back into a little bit of the autumn time here. But this is a good one where you've got your thankful, but then you've also got your sentiment for you and for everything that you do. So that's in there, no additional cost. What about the, I'm sure they've just put this in for my sake, the autumn squirrel within that one there. That one being a multi-craft die, so all your different fabrics, your materials, or of course all of your cardstock as well. So that autumn squirrel is in there. What we've then got is we've got Just Because sentiment. So that is that lovely quirky font sentiment with the matte layer in there, no additional cost. We've got Day of the Dead in here. We've then got your, now this, always loved our Touch of Sparkle range here, where you've got the stamp, you've got the die, you've got the template, and you can pop any of your little gems or pearls in there. That's in there, no additional cost. You've then got your banner connecting sentiment dies here, so a really large sentiment die with love that creates that kind of bridge effect within your card blank. You've You've got your stamps in there, no additional cost. And we can never have too many tweezers here. So you've got your 4 precision tweezers here. You've got the scoop tweezer, point tweezer, reverse tweezer, and the angle tweezer in there as well. So all of that I was just showing you there is essentially what you are not paying for. What you are paying for when it comes to that today's price, even better with the platinum, is your sparkle pens, your frame Christmas dies, and then your number dies as well. That's what you're paying for, but that is everything that you're getting. £35, $45 with the platinum of £28 or $38. So I am going to just have a little walk across here. Lily, ooh, I am going to hand this across to you.
Okay.
And I am looking forward to seeing what you're going to do with this.
Me too, so I'm not quite sure as of at this point in time, but we'll have a little look through and see what we can come up with. So let's have a little look here. We have got, and yes, I did not look through this beforehand, so I genuinely, this is as much of a surprise to me as it is to you guys at home. So I'm thinking, do you know what, I'm quite tempted to use this because I love these dies. And
no pressure, I don't want pressure. I'm going to stand beside, I'm going to have my copy in the comments.
Okay, just to watch over, try and keep me on track.
Just pretend I'm George. I'm a twin of George.
Get your crafting then.
That's it, yeah, do it.
Right, okay, yep. So I think we'll do something with that. Then we'll have a little look. I wonder if we can incorporate that potentially, because I do quite like that one. So we'll bring that out. We'll have a little look at that.
Okay.
We could potentially, I'll tell you what might work quite nicely actually. We've got the top and bottom sections there. We could do a little bit of stenciling top and bottom with them too. We might do that. Let's do that. Right, let's move all this out of the way and we'll focus on the bits that we've got here. So we'll take our die set to start with. Oh, it's a fresh one as well.
I think they're all fresh,
yeah. Oh my gosh. I usually make a right mess of opening these, but here we go. Then we've got our stamps and your dies as well. So we've got our with love. So the concept of these is that you cut it sort of in the centre of your card base. So we'll do that. So we'll try and take our die. Probably end up taking all the tape off, yeah? We'll take our die off our sheet here. So I'll just peel the tape off the back of there. Then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a piece of white cardstock. Where is it? There we go. And we're just going to have a little measure of our die. So I tend to put it on my glass mat and just have a little measure of how big the die is. So it's looking about 5 3/4 will work quite nicely. So if we do a 5 3/4 inch square card base, so we'll grab our guillotine and we'll just cut this down to size here. So I'll just take the little arm out. There we go.
We had questions about that in the earlier craft along show, didn't we?
Didn't we? Yeah. So I'll take the arm out there. So cut it down to 11.5 by 5 3/4, I think. There's 5 3/4.
A lot of love for the goodie bag.
It is good.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm dead pleased we've got the sparkle pens. I've not seen those colours in ages.
No. Oh, we've not got many left now of the goodie bag.
What are we doing with scoreboard?
Well, oh, sorry.
This is what happens to the scoremaster.
Big Pop was scared that it was going to then just clean off and then knock my cup of tea there, so I moved it to the side.
Blame Johnny, shall we? That sounds
blame
about
Johnny.
right. Yeah, he's in the gallery.
Yeah.
He's safe. He's safe. So we'll score this one at 5 3/4. I've not used these dies in ages, Craig, so I'm hoping I can still remember how to use them, but we'll soon find out, won't we?
Yes, we will indeed.
We absolutely will.
Just very briefly, a few comments coming through kind of saying the same thing. I'm just going to read one of them out from Love to Create. It's just saying, thank you so much, Sarah. I just love CC products and the company itself. So thank you for those that are sending your comments through. It was imperative to Sarah to get a video and a message out to you ASAP.
Absolutely, we do certainly appreciate them, so thank you, everybody. So here's our die. Maybe these were called word cutting dies.
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
I've managed to get a bit of pink ink on there. What's that all about? That could be the back of the card.
That'd be the back.
No one will know, apart from the fact that I've told you all. But
you didn't use pink earlier on, did you?
No.
Or did you pick up the finger dauber with pink on it?
Maybe I picked up that by accident. Who knows? Yeah. Oh well, it's all part of the course, especially if we've got a craft clinic on inks. There'll be inks everywhere, I'm sure.
My favourite, isn't it?
I know. Do you know what? We did think, that's Craig's favourite. We'll do the water reactive. So see if you've got any questions. But,
I'll need to try and think of some.
I have to say they're probably my favourite as well, actually. Probably
I need to channel my inner George.
Ask silly questions. There we go. So that's roughly central. I mean, I could measure that and make it. Let's look in the overhead. That looks roughly central, I think. So we'll pop that through our die cutting machine. So we'll just run that on through, make sure my plates are nice and level. All the tape on the side of that machine is absolutely terrible. Terrible. Have you seen my MIDI in the office?
No.
It's literally covered in tape. You can barely see the machine, there's so much low tack tape on it.
Ah.
It's because I was die cutting all the alphabet dies for boards. So what I tend to do is I'll cut all the letters at once and I'll use a really long strip of tape to tape them all together. So I've got these really long strips of low tack tape all over the machine.
Right.
Which looks a little bit silly, but...
Hey, we are all unique.
Well,
Each to our
that's
own.
one way of putting it,
Yeah,
isn't
we
it,
definitely
Craig?
are.
Unique.
You wouldn't want two Georges, would you?
Oh,
Love you, George, if you're watching.
I don't think he's
I,
watching.
I think he's playing with characters today, isn't he?
Yeah, I wonder who he's dressing up as today. Dread to think. Might be a cowboy again, like he was the other week.
He's playing with his toys.
Yeah, absolutely, certainly is.
I really hope he's not watching.
I'm sure
We
he
are
won't
joking,
be.
George.
I'm sure he won't be. Right.
He'll get his own back on me.
Oh, I'm sure he'll find a way. I'm sure he will. Oh, looks all right there in the centre.
Yeah.
Tell you what might look quite nice, if quite dramatic. Should we put a bit of black behind?
Whoa.
Let's do that. I've heard in my ear, I've just made a board. Yeah, they just look a bit like a board. Don't worry, we'll add a bit more colour in a bit.
Just made a what?
A board, like
A board?
the boards we do.
Oh,
boards,
the
yes.
boards for, yeah.
The
that
board
we've got,
boards.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Mind you, I've done a few boards this week, so I'm probably in the headspace of making boards with
Yeah,
all
you
the black
have been
and
doing a
white.
lot of boards for upcoming launches, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. Right. Hopefully I've put that to the right size. Let's have a look. Pop that on the inside. Yeah. So we'll glue that in the inside. We'll move that out the way. Honestly, it's always the same with these. You start with a nice, clean and tidy area. Next thing you know, you can't find anything.
You can't, can you?
I can't find my tape. Oh, it's there. Always looking straight at me. So we'll take our tape pen and we'll just stick that onto the inside of our card. So that's just going to go.
I think when these first launched, the reason I loved them so much, and I still love them for this reason, although I don't use them as much, that is being able to just chop them out as well.
Yeah.
And then you've got good, sizable, individual, with love letters.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could cut top and bottom and have it as like a separate panel, as a separate topper, if you like.
I'm going to tell you right now, we've got 39 left of the goodie
no.
bag. So remember, we showed you everything just at the start, what you're getting, all that £35, $45, platinum price $28 or $38, everything that we showed you. Lily's having a little bit of a play now as well, but yeah, we've only got 39 of them left. So if you like the idea of them, then
Hurry up.
Hurry
Quite
up.
frankly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We said it last week, but it seems like the goodie bags on Make It Saturdays are getting better and better. Some really, really good items in this one. I love the fact as well you've got some consumables. So if you are sort of like with the Vegas pad, if you're wanting to stock up or your sparkle pens, then it's a great one to go for.
Well, that's it. You might be inclined to do a WrestleMania 41 scrapbook page like
might.
that I done.
Absolutely.
You want to do that one. When they first said Craig, and obviously I know that us, I think they're all up now. I've seen Lily's,
Yes,
the two
mine went
Debbies.
up this morning, I think. Yeah.
In mine, when they said, Craig, can you do a scrapbook page for us? You can do absolutely anything. I was like, yep, you're on. You're
Easy.
on.
Easy choice.
Actually, do you know how keen I was? And this
You
is how
were the
much-
first.
Well, not only was I the first, but the only window I had to do it was on my day off.
And
I
you
was
did it
like,
on your
no
day off?
problem, that's fine,
Wowzers.
let's do it. And obviously it was in Vegas, so I thought, have to use.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Have to use the Vegas collection.
Works nicely.
We need to bring out a New Orleans collection for next year.
Do you know what? That'd be absolutely fabulous, like Mardi Gras sort of thing.
Yeah.
That would be great, actually.
Or what I could do, when I go next year, I could use our Masquerade Ball collection.
That would work nicely, actually.
would.
Yeah. I think I've still got some of that paper pad left somewhere, you know, Craig.
I do, because I'm
Not much.
very, very frugal with it.
Was there a lovely luxury card pack
There
that went
was.
with it? Yeah.
Yep, it's a really nice one.
Yeah, it's a lovely collection, that one. So I'm just chopping down my mats and layers to go on the front here. So I've got a black matting layer with our white panel there. And we'll move that out of the way. And I'll tell you what we'll do. Given we're going to be talking about our water reactive ink pads a little bit later, I will bring some in now. So I'll try and clear myself a bit of space, which is easier said
Can I
than
help
done.
with anything?
It's up to you. What do you want to do? You want to do one? Do you know what?
I'll do whatever
Should we
you
do
like.
one each? So and yet another fresh one of these. My goodness me, we've been treated well today. So I think, should we have a different pattern, top and bottom? And then if you want to ink one and I ink one.
Okay.
Yeah?
I'm up for that.
There we go. What should we go for? Let's have two that match quite nicely. Let's go for those two, do you think? They match quite
I think
nicely.
they work really well,
Yeah.
don't they?
Do you want to go ink,
So
however you like?
you just want
Let's
me
go
to ink, what, just
ink through, I think.
kind of like centralise it and ink through?
Yeah, I think so.
Rightio.
Sounds about
Let's
all
do
right.
it. Do you want it daubed on with a finger dauber, or do you want it blended on with a brush? Or
it depends whichever one you prefer using, which is easiest.
Well, it's your project, so I'm more than happy to go with whatever you would be using.
I tend to go for a blending tool like this.
Right, well, you know what I'm like with the square blending tool. Happy with that.
One? Right, I'll grab myself a circle one, I think.
So when it comes to blending tools, do you have a preference of circle or square, even though it's not a square, it's a rectangle?
I know, that still always baffles me.
Still baffles me as well.
I'd love to know the person who thought that was a good idea, but probably still no longer here. Do you know what? I always used to be circle all the way. Always used to just use the circle, but I tell you, I quite like the square/rectangle one, especially if it's a larger area. If you've got a nice big sort of broad area to cover,
right.
I tend to go for the square one these days.
Yeah.
If I'm using a really detailed stencil and I want the real sort of detail, then I tend to go for my finger dauber. Like with the silhouette stencils that we've done earlier this week. If you want to get that real detail, because the stencils are really tiny.
Love them.
Then I tend to use my daubers for those.
Yeah.
We did stencils at the craft clinic a few weeks back, I think.
Did we?
Yeah.
So we've got one of the big bosses just waving out there, just waving back in there.
We're not just waving to ourselves.
Yes. So I put forward, and I genuinely don't know if this would ever happen. It'd be good if it did. But I did put forward a New York collection.
Oh, that would be fabulous,
I think after the back of Vintage Vegas.
Yeah.
No.
Is Craig going to New York?
Am I going to New York? Have I not told anyone?
You've not.
Johnny's just saying when I go to New York, he's turning my notifications off. Can't be deal, because Johnny and his wife Gemma absolutely love New York, just like I do as well. And he knows I'm going to be spamming my socials big time.
Every time you log onto Facebook or Instagram, or just be Craig's doing this in New York, Craig's doing that in New York.
Yeah.
Craig living the dream. There you go.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah, that's good to me.
Awesome.
Do you want to do a little bit Matt?
You want? Yes, let's do it. Matt and Laird, let's go for it.
In for a penny, in for a pound. There we go.
So
there you go.
I'll take glue then.
You sure?
Yeah,
I'll take glue. Tape pen.
No, I'll go. Okay. Usually, and I say this quite a lot, when I'm crafting at home and I'm doing my demos, when I have that little bit extra time, it's always my tacky glue that I'll tend to go to. Now, I know I don't want to kind of contradict what we say. Usually with your matte cardstock, we would say your all-purpose glue.
Yeah.
But do remember as well, there is that little bit of flexibility. So if you wanted to use your tacky glue with your mats and layers, of course you could do. It's just obviously we'd just like to give you the reasonings as to why you might use one glue over another. But as I always say, the days of police aren't going to rock up at your door.
I hope not anyway.
Well, I hope not, no.
There we go. And the thing is, especially when you use it in that, you use such a small amount.
That's it.
It's going to be absolutely fine. Right, there we go. That's starting to come together. Let's pop those two onto there.
Fab.
And then we'll take our tape pen. Yeah, they're saying in my ear last weekend, was it last weekend or 1 week? I had about 3 tape pens that were all like basically empty. So I used a little bit and then the next thing I know, they'd gone and I had to change it. It happened about 3 times. It was spooky.
It's what usually happens with Robinson.
Yeah,
it's hard
does,
that it happens to, Yep. Could be Debbie Fisher then.
Maybe it is.
Yeah. Maybe she's looking in the window of the tape runner and go, that's coming to an end. Let's just set that one to the side.
That for,
Who's
Debbie
on next week? Like Lily's on, or Debbie's on, or Craig's on. Lot of love for New York collection.
Oh, yes.
Also, a bit of love for the New Orleans collection.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Do you know, and I know we do say this every now and again, of course, but we've got Leanne. Will Leanne be travelling back now from China, or is she back? She'll be on her way back as well.
Long journey.
If, of course, well, she might be actually back home now. If there is any ideas you guys think would be great as well, let us know in the shows. We can always feed them forward to Leanne and the team. But yeah.
I mean, you guys at home know what happened about me and Craig pestering for so long about the large nesting dies, and it is happening. So if you pester enough, it may very well happen. To
be fair, I think it was just me and you pestering them. It was just you guys at home being a bonus.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got the nesting dies in the first instance. We were like, right, that's great, we love them, but we need bigger nesting dies. It's never good enough, is it?
I'll let you in a little secret. When it came to those nesting dies that we launched in birthday, Liam as well, were a little bit disappointed when we realised they didn't actually go up to 8x8. We thought they were going to be the large ones, but these are the ones that we've been assured will be coming down the line this year.
Absolutely. Not sure how long it's going to be, but never soon enough for us, is it, Craig? We love our large nesting dies.
Yes, we definitely do. Definitely do.
Now we've switched to our little finger dauber now. just to add a little bit of colour. It was looking a little bit of a plain on the With Love. What you could do is you could die cut that die once more from a different like contrasting colour like your purple card. But I thought just to show you how you can do a nice bit of blending with these lovely water reactive inks. And we're using our crushed velvet for this. So we're just going on to our With Love. Have a little look how that's looking.
Oh, that's looking
Do you know
smart.
what? It's smart, it's bold, it's clean. I kind of want to bring these in though.
Yeah,
I don't want to ruin it though, but we'll give it a go.
It's tempting, isn't it?
I know.
We have got Jay Smith is saying hello everyone.
Hello.
We've got Louise Burton is saying I'm building up a nice collection from buying the goodie bags. Good way to stock up on your stash.
Absolutely.
We've got Trudy. I thought this was our Rachel saying this. It's not. It's Trudy that's saying Lilly is the board queen.
Yeah, I
She
am.
absolutely is. Yeah.
I am. Whether I want to be or not, I am.
See, it's one of those things that just not that long ago, we had a little bit of a spell where we were all taking part in doing the boards. So obviously the way that our schedules have worked in that, Lily's been doing a lot of them, but I love doing boards because when I first started, I kind of worked under the umbrella of Debbie Fisher when we would do QVC Germany and that. So I would do all the boards for all the German products and stuff like that.
Gosh.
And I find it really therapeutic.
I think it's a nice way, it allows you to sort of get to know the range, if that makes
Exactly,
sense.
yes.
I think especially when you see everything cut in black and white, it just sort of strips it back a little bit and you get to know the dyes a little bit better, if that, I know that sounds a bit strange getting to know the dyes,
No,
but hopefully
you're right
know
enough.
what I mean.
You're right enough.
Yeah, just sort of start to get to know the ranges, which is quite nice. I tend to do the boards before I've worked with them, like done samples or prep or whatever, so it's a nice way to sort of get your eye in, if you like.
So would you then suggest that at home, if you're buying a collection, is it one of those things where maybe you open each of the packs and have a look, like look at the actual size of the die, look at the size of the stamp, see what it is?
I'll tell you what would be a good tip with this one, actually, if we can find it buried under here, with that lovely, it's under my plate, it's this lovely die set, and I think this is a prime example of what I tend to do when I get these home, especially when you've got nesting dies, you're sort of thinking about what are the combinations, how are these going to work together. Get some of your scrap card, it could be white card, it could be black card, it could be the card, you know, the card that you buy and you sort of fall out of love of it and you don't really have much of a use for it. Use all that card to cut these out, almost like as a template. And then I tend to pop them on my glass mat, I tend to sort of move them around, see how they'll work with other items, maybe you've got other bits in your crafty stash that will work alongside. Just by cutting them in a solid colour cardstock, not thinking about the project that you're going to make, that's a great way to work with new dies, especially nesting dies. That works a treat for nesting dies.
Yeah, that's a good idea, that actually,
just
good way to have a look at them first.
Just sort of gives you a few ideas as to like sizings. Perhaps you've got card bases that you've got in your stash, so bring out your card base and see what sort of sizes of cards are going to fit onto. But it's a nice way just to sort of get to know your stash.
Changing the subject completely, is that actual nail varnish or is that our Gildan flake?
I know it is nail varnish.
Is it? Oh my God, that looked like our fine Gildan flakes.
It does, doesn't it? Do you know what Cheeky George called them last week? He said it looks like tin foil. I was disgusted. I was like, George, it's cost a lot more than tin foil. And they also don't look like tin foil.
I think he should just be staying away and playing with his teddies.
I think he is this weekend anyway.
You
with
can't
his teddies,
say that.
yeah.
Well, that looks like...
It does look...
you know when we've used our Gildan flakes a number of times and it starts to get finer and finer?
Yeah.
That's what that looked like.
Do you know what? Can you imagine how long it would take? With your like little self-adhesive sheets on your nails. Oh, I've not got the time, quite frankly. Not got the time or the patience. Right, a little bit of sparkle on there. What do we think? Do we want to add anything in more? Or do you think that's good enough?
I'd say, I think that's... I absolutely love that.
It's clean, it's simple. Do you know what, that'd be nice if you change it perhaps to a blue instead of the purple. It'd be lovely for a gents card, that one, I think.
It would actually, yeah.
Really, really
nice.
nice.
It would.
So there you go, crafting off the hoof. Craig did, which panel did you do? That one or that one? That one,
I think I've done that one.
That one?
Yes, I did.
That's Craig's half, that's my half. There you go, come together. Easy enough.
Oh, wow, 30 goodie bags left. If you want to get hold of that collection, so that was essentially everything that we just showed you. I'm not going to get it together. What you can see is you can get all of that, everything that we showed you. Remember, it was the Gemini mini dies, number dies. It was the sparkle pens, and what was the other thing I said that you were paying for? It was the Christmas frame dies. That was essentially the three things that you're paying for on that today's price, but what you're going to be getting is everything else within that incredible price, platinum price of £28 or $36, and that's just one of many hundreds of different things that you can be making. Right, 30 left when it comes to that goodie bag. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a break for you to then check out your basket, but then we're going to be having our craft clinic when we come back. So any of the questions, get them in. It's all about the water reactives.
Hi Crafty Peeps, Victoria here. I love Crafters TV because it shows you the best tips and tricks on how to use your crafty stash. It also connects you with people from all over the world, and nowhere else on shopping TV you have the opportunity to live chat with other people from the other side of the world, for example, and laugh with them and be there for them when they're having a tough time. But also know that when you're having a tough time, you can switch on Crafters TV and you can go on the live chat, and you know people will be there for you as well. And when you're having a bad time and not feeling well, when you're a bit down in the dumpster and you know Crafters TV is going to be on, there's going to be some laughters and there's going to be some fun. And the banter going on between the demonstrators and the demonstrators is just really fun and really good, and sometimes the only laugh you will get when you're not feeling well. So that's personally why I love Crafters TV the most. It's the connection, the personal connection with everyone that's involved in Crafters TV and all the other crafters out there. So thank you, Sarah, from the bottom of my heart for coming up with Crafters TV and for bringing all the good fun and all the crafty tips to us. Yes, thank you. Keep up the good work, and I love you. Bye.
Pokey tools and paper pads, gilding, wax and stamping mats, scissors, glitter, builder blocks, faux snow fabric, rocker blocks, briars, misters, quilting clips, and die brush tools, precision snips, finger daubers, acetates, stencils, glue guns and templates, Gemini Pro, Julia and the OG, Gemini Go, Mini and the MIDI, tri-blend brush pens, aqua pens and aqua blends, illustrators, classics and tri-blends and color blends and glitter pens and sparkle pens, outliner pens. Fine tip glue applicators, envelopes, creators, stamping platforms, boxer boards, the big score and scoreboard, Nina card and craft card, glitter card, matte black card, graphics, wadding and adhesive sheets, glass mats, guillotines and pen trays, ball tool, die stamps, ink trays, miter tools and binding tools and toe bags, USBs, bone folders and punches, low-tack tape, paint brushes, stamens, mountboard, flower forming foam, outline markers, DVDs, spelled quick Triton pads and CDs, gilding flakes and washi tape, tacky glue, red liner tape, craft asphalt, press sparkle pots, Centura pan and sticky dots, pigment ink pads, chunky glue, body bags, all-purpose glue, embossing folders, blending tools, storage folders, much more too. Water reactive ink pads, body bags, craft magnets, year of craft and glue, stick and spray and stick away, dotty tape and split pens, acrylic paint pens, tape pens, watercolor card, rotary cutters, magazines and stamping card, ultimate Pro and the rotating design board, Ultimate Buzz Compendium, Sarah signature collections, and don't forget Discovery kits. Oh, and there's foam pads, think that's it. One final thing, foam on a roll. Foam on a roll.
Here we go. We always still laugh whenever we see any of these videos and songs that Ben does for us. Right, we're going to go into the craft clinic here. So when it comes to the craft clinic, we've always got a specific subject that we like to cover through. Now, it's not too late to get any of your questions in. Still got both Jan and Rachel on the socials. So if there is any question in the next couple of minutes that you're thinking of that you want to ask Lilly, then feed them across and I will send them to Lilly. But what I was thinking, Lilly, when it comes to, of course, your ink pads, we tend to have the three main ones, isn't it? But water reactive seems to maybe be one of the go-to, do you think?
Absolutely, I'd agree. For me, and I know Craig's exactly the same, it's the ink pad that we go to time and time again is our water reactive ink pads. So the fact with these is they are super, super versatile. I mean, you can do lots of different techniques with them. You can stamp with them, you can do all those lovely blending techniques with them. You can use them with your embossing folders, with your stencils. You can even paint with them as well. They are a fantastic medium to get crafting with. Now, if we contrast these a little bit with two of our other main ink pads that we talk about as part of our Spectrum Noir range, we have our quick dries, we have our opaque pigments, and we have our water reactives as well. So when it comes to your quick dries, for me, the main use for a quick dry is your stamping. They're going to give you beautiful, crisp stamp results every single time with your quick dries. And as the name suggests, they do dry very, very quickly. Then next up, we have our opaque pigment, kind of the opposite to our quick dries, in that these are going to dry very slowly. It's going to give you that longer open time, which allows you to do techniques like your heat embossing. When we actually open the pad itself, it's more like a spongy sort of pad with our opaque pigment, and they give you a lovely, rich coverage of colour, and they stay wetter for a little bit longer, so great for your stamping, then adding your embossing powders over the top. You can still do all those lovely blending techniques using those fantastic opaque pigment ink pads, and it's the name suggests that opaque as well, for getting those really crisp, strong effects. And then finally, the one that we are focusing on today, one of my favourites, is our fantastic water reactive dye-based ink pads. Now these are fantastic for all those techniques, and if we actually open the pad up there, you can see it's more of a felt pad. So if we contrast with our opaque pigment, which is more of a sponge-based sort of pad onto that one, and then the difference with our water reactive, it's more of a felt sort of pad. Now the beauty with these is you can do your stamping, you can do your blending. So if we take our blending tool here directly to that ink pad, with our water reactive ink pads, they give you a really lovely smooth blend of colour onto your cardstock. So whether you're using something like I'm using here, which is our stamping card or our multi-purpose card, you could do the similar effect on your watercolour cardstock if you're going to add water over the top. But you can see there, just as I blend that edge of the cardstock, you get such a lovely, smooth, seamless blend by using your water reactive. They really have been designed to do all those beautiful, smooth blending techniques. You're going to get no sort of smears or smudges on there. You get that lovely lay down of colour. And the beauty of these being water reactive, if we add our colour onto our cardstock and then we take one of our water spritzers, so just take a little bit of water and spritz that over the surface, and then I'll just grab some kitchen towel here, and then what that will do is it gives us almost like a faux bleaching effect by just dabbing off all that excess water. You can see there it's starting to give you almost like a subtle raindrop sort of effect onto the edge of the cardstock there. If you were to build up that colour a little bit more, then you'll have more differentiation between those drops of water and your cardstock, but it just gives you an idea of the sort of techniques you can do with your water reactive ink pads. They're fantastic as well for creating your own sort of paint. So all you do for that is you just take your ink pad, you just smoosh that out onto your glass mat, take some water just to make that into a little bit more of a dilute solution, pick it up with your paintbrush, and you can start painting with these. So lots and lots of techniques you can do. They mix with lots of other things as well. You can be using them alongside other water-based mediums in your crafty stash, but for me, your water reactives are complete and utter go-to when it comes to all those lovely inky techniques.
Awesome, thank you, Lily. We did have here, I'm not sure if there's anything that you want to expand on this from what you've just said there, Lily, but Louise Burton had said any information, this was just as you were starting to answer your question before, any information on inks would be good for me. I'm new to crafting and would love to know how to play with my water reactive ink. So I know you touched upon a few other techniques that you could do.
Absolutely. So I would say if you want to do all those lovely inky backgrounds, if you want to be using your stencils, if you want to be adding ink tree embossing folders, for me the go-to is going to be your water reactives. They are fantastic for all those blending. Whether you are going to blend directly onto cardstock like I've just done there, whether you're going to be doing that blending through a stencil, whether you're going to emboss your cardstock and add blending ink over the top, your water reactives are fantastic because they're just so easily blendable. So let's take a couple of colours here. So we've got our crushed purple, which is what we've just been using, but with your water reactives you can blend the two colours. We've got our crushed velvet here and we've got our fuchsia. So we'll start off by laying down some of that lovely crushed velvet just onto our cardstock here, and then we're going to switch out to our fuchsia. And you can do all these lovely ombre techniques using your ink pads because they're so blendable, because they're not opaque in that they're sort of translucent with your lovely water reactives. It allows you to actually blend and layer those colours over each other. So then we've got our ombre going from that right hand side with our lovely pink colour all the way towards that left hand side with our purple colour. You can see how beautifully even the different colourways of your ink pads are going to work together. They're going to blend together. So all those lovely blending techniques you want to do for your backgrounds, your water reactives are the ones to go for. Whether you want to do those inky mop-up backgrounds, they're going to be the ones to go for as well. And even if you want to be doing mixed media, then they'll work perfectly for that as well.
Awesome, thank you. We've got Cynthia is asking, I know it's not necessarily along the lines of the water reactive, but it's still when it comes to one of the ink pads. Cynthia on YouTube is saying, was the ink pad that Lily used to stamp the sentiment in the craft along the waterproof ink pad?
Oh, that's a brilliant question. I'm just going to grab a couple of ink pads because a question we get time and time again in terms of stamping your sentiments and what is the best ink pad to use. Now, when it comes to sentiments, they tend to have really, really fine detail. And for me, when it comes to sentiments, if I'm not going to be adding colour, if I'm just going to be leaving them as is, for me, the best one to go for is either your Finesse waterproof or your Finesse alcohol proof. Both of them are going to give you that really lovely crisp stamped impression. If I bring in the card that we made a little bit earlier here, you can see even with that really, really fine detail onto the sentiment, it's picked up all that detail beautifully. So for any sort of sentiment, if you're not going to be adding colour, I'd go for either your waterproof or your alcohol proof dye ink pads to stamp with.
Perfect. We've got what again? There's a little bit about your quick dry, but I'll ask you anyway. Daisy on YouTube is saying hi. Are the quick dries any good for alcohol markers?
I would say no. I'd say for your alcohol markers, the ink pad, the only ink pad I would ever be using when it comes to your alcohol markers is one of your alcohol-proof ink pads. Clue is sort of in the name. It's going to give you that lovely, crisp, stamped impression. It's not going to bleed when you add your alcohol pens to it. It will bleed, however, if you use any water-based mediums with it because it's been designed specifically just for your alcohol-based mediums. But when it comes to your quick dries, I tend to use my quick dries only for stamping if I'm not adding colour afterwards, because you can find that it will give you a little bit of a bleed with your alcohol pens, and it's the same with your water base. If you're water based, you want a waterproof. For your alcohol pens, you want an alcohol proof. This is more just for stamping and leaving as is.
Awesome. This one is a really, really good question that I've never ever thought to ever cover, certainly for anyone that's a beginner and always wonder, why are they using one or the other? Love to Create on YouTube is saying, Lily, what is better to get a smoother blend on, a glass mat or a brown craft mat?
Oh, do you know what? That is an absolutely brilliant
Isn't
question. That's a great question. I tell you, one of the key things when it comes to a smooth blend, because when we're doing our blending, what you'll see all of us, what we always do, is we'll take our ink pad and rather going directly onto that cardstock there, we'll start off on that glass mat and we'll sort of take almost like a bit of a running jump as we go onto our cardstock. So we'll start there, and by having something that is sort of slippery, so rather than having cardstock underneath, it's going to give you a little bit of a drag as you're blending your tool over there. By having something that's sort of shiny and slippery underneath, it's going to give you that lovely smooth blend of colour, just like so. If you are using something like a non-stick mat, your brown mat, it's exactly the same sort of idea. It's that lovely sort of silky smooth surface, so it's still going to give you a smooth blend. Personally, I don't think there's going to be any difference. I don't think we've got any down here, unfortunately.
No, I'm the same, yeah.
But I think it's going to be the same sort of idea. As long as it's something that's got that nice sort of slick surface to it and it's not something like a piece of cardstock, I think both of them will give you an equally lovely result.
Yeah, I think the only thing that might differ is the glass mat is strong, sturdy to your unit, whereas your craft mat, if you've not anchored it down or taped it down, you can move it as you're trying to blend. But other than that, I think you would get the same kind of blended surface.
Absolutely. And I find personally, I don't know about you guys at home, I always have my glass mat. That's always the surface that I'm working on to, whether in the studio, whether at home. So it's always there. And especially with the water-based ink pad, with your water reactives, because they're water-based, they just wipe off easily. All I've got here is I've just got a little bit of water in my spritzer. I'm literally just giving that little spritz of water and I'm wiping it off using a piece of kitchen towel. So they're so easy to clean up. So for me, it's just easier to use my glass mat. It's there all the time. It wipes clean and then you're good to go.
Awesome. Well, we seem to be up to date with the questions that have come through for that one there. Lily, if there is there anything else you wanted to add or any other suggestions of that with your water reactive?
I think my final words on this would be, quite often we get asked, especially for new crafters, if you could recommend one sort of ink pad, I can't invest in them all at the moment, if you could recommend one sort of ink pad that's going to give me the most crafty options, then which one would it be? And for me, time and time again, I would go for water reactive ink pads. They give you so much creative scope, whether you're going to be painting with them, whether you're going to be stamping with them, whether you're going to be blending with them. They give you so many different options in your crafting. They're very easy to use, very easy to blend, very easy to do all those techniques. So for me, water reactive ink pads are definitely the go-to ink pad in my crafty stash.
Awesome. Thank you very much for that one, Lily. We have got, for you guys, of course, that watch every Saturday, know, of course, that we have got our winner when it comes to the voucher. So when it comes to the Saturday voucher, the winner is Altage on YouTube.
Woo!
Oh, congratulations. So you're going to then be getting, of course, your €10 voucher for whereabout you are. So what I need you to then do is just email ctvprizes@crafterscompanion.co.uk just with your name, and of course just say that you want it within Make It Saturday, and we'll make sure we'll get that Euro voucher across to you for you to then spend. But we've still got lots and lots that we're going to be showing you, firm favourites that, well, going back in time, bringing it into 2025, and that is, of course, our corner punches here. Really, really fancy, usable 7-piece collection, although one of them is the 3-in-1, where you've got that nice curved corner. So when it comes to your corner punches, £25, $32, but then when it also then comes to your platinum price, £20 or $25.60. Now when it comes to all of that, you can have your simple corner mats and layers if you want, or you can then go in and then punch the corners using the corner punches there. So you can grab them across on the website. Everything that myself and Lily are either talking about or showing are across on the website, .co.uk.com or .eu, and then just have a little look. Everything that you see as well, whether of course it's been the launch, whether of course it is maybe something like the goodie bag. We've got additional items on the outlet sale as well. You'll always get your Club Inspire on that as well. Club Inspire included for what we're going to be showing here, a little bit of a magical day. It's a magical day. I was about to say that's what U2 says, but it's not. It's what do U2? It's a beautiful day.
Close enough.
Well, it's close. It's close enough. It's a close enough, isn't it? So this one being the magical day here. Wow. Wow. As Ben would say, £4. £4. So if you're not in Club Inspire, £5, $5, but then of course your platinum, £4 at $4. So this is what you're going to get, 26 components in total. But what exactly does that mean? That means this is what you're going to get. So you're going to be able to create your reindeer card. That, of course, could be a stag or it could be a deer. Just take away, of course, the Santa hat, then that could be great for your males. But then what you've also got as well is your unicorn. To actually create them, you have got all of these dies. Not only that, you're going to be getting your stencil, so you can then ink the eyebrows on, the little cheeks on there as well. It could be little circles, it could be little stars in there. That's entirely up to yourself. You've even got your stencil you can start to ink through when it comes to the top of the unicorn. Not only are you going to be getting those, you're going to be getting the quirky sentiment stamps that will work for the unicorn and, of course, the actual reindeer. Reindeer, just recapping again, taking away that Santa hat because you're building up that project. Take it away, that's going to then be a stag or a deer if you so wish. All of these additional components, little flowers in there as well if you want to add them on. That's what's going to be giving you your 26-piece stamp die and stencil set from the Magical Day. £5, $5, or of course platinum price £4, $4. When it comes to, of course, the actual cost of that, of course, you can't even get a meal deal for that now. That is absolutely fab. Right to you, Alcha, it was you. It was you. You were, oh. So I was saying her name too fast there. It was you. Alcha, you have won. You've won that €10 voucher. So yes, just email ctvprizes@crafterscompanion.co.uk. So what we're going to do is we're just going to leave that there just for a wee moment for you. Alcha, you can then grab hold of that. Just email your name, just say you've won the €10 voucher within Make It Saturday. And that is the detail. So well done, Alcha, for winning that one this week. Rightio. So yes, so we were having a look, of course, with that Magical Day. Let's have a look at the tool kit here. This is giving you the essential toolkit that I firmly believe every crafter should have within their stash. And what we're also going to then be giving you is your die release brush tool that you can see. Gives you, of course, the foam pad as well. So within that full set, what you're then going to be getting here, 6 pieces in total. This is then going to be giving you your self-healing mat. Then you've got your centimetres on one side, inches on the other side here. So you've got that with angles in there. Not only that, you're then going to be getting the additional tool set. Your metal ruler with inches, which is a big firm favourite for a lot of us. Your reverse tweezers So these are the reverse ones. You've then got your really, really sharp snippy scissors, that sharp that you've got that protective casing on. You've got your poke tool you see me using all the time. Love that one. And then of course you've got your craft knife as well, which you can then just replace that blade. That is what you're going to be getting within that essential tool set. But then when it comes to all of your die cutting with any of the integral bits, you guys know most of us, we just give them kind of a little bit of a tap on the back. But if you actually want to use the proper tool, then of course you can just pop the die or the die cut on the foam mat and then just start to rub through that tool. That's going to pop all the little bits out there. So you've got your essential toolkit with the free brush tool and foam pad here. That's going to be coming to you $19.99 or $29.99, or of course if you are platinum, $15.99 or $23.99. So you are paying for the tool set and then you are getting that brush tool for free. That is also on the website, as is everything else. Then what we're going to be having a look at, is this something we're going to be playing with just shortly?
It is.
It is. Nice. This one being our metallic melodies here. This one being the pearl powders. This is giving you the 4 pearl powders with your little dispenser. Now that you're getting for free. Now I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't use mine for that. I use mine in the kitchen. I use mine in the kitchen for ice and sugar and that.
Oh, that's a good
Can
idea.
I just please just kind of clarify, don't use the same one for your powders and your ice and sugar. Keep them completely separate. But if anyone says, I'm not sure how to use mine, I don't use mine for my powder. So when I like to then just come along and then maybe just, if I then just, Johnny. Yeah, like if I make shortbread, I will, that's it, yeah, I will dust the sugar just over the top of my shortbread. That's what I'll dust using my little sieve there. But you're going to get the 4 of them, then you're also then going to be getting that little powder dispenser, or a little sieve, actually. Do you know what? Before we give these ones to Lily, look at these ones here. So this is why it's like a little mini sieve.
Aww.
So I've made my little shortbreads and I just go tip, 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 tip. Do you know what I mean? There you go. There you are. So that's why I use mine. $19.99 or $24.99. That's what you're going to be getting for free. Or if you're platinum, $15.99 or $19.99. So we're going to then set that one to the side. So I think you're wanting to borrow that one in a minute,
I'm
Lily.
away.
No problem. And split space, these ones. This one's here. I've got the boards here. This was something that at first glance was very simplistic, and a lot of people thought, how am I going to be able to use these? The ways that you can use these really is astronomical here, because the initial concept, you die cut them both out and then you stamp one of the 2 sentiments in the middle. But then it's up to you if you want them further apart. You might want to mat and layer that. You might want to use another sentiment. It's entirely up to you. You can colour in, you can paper paste, you can do all those different techniques that you know and love. You've got your just for you and congratulations. You've then got your star. So you've got lots of love, you're a star. You've then got your love heart. So that's giving you just for you and with love. You've then also got your dream big. That's giving you birthday wishes and dream big. So also nice sizable sentiment stamps to use on their own. So that's giving you your split space stamp and die 4-piece collection, because of course you've got your 4 sets, but essentially in each one it's 2 dies and 2 sentiment stamps that you're going to be getting within those ones there. £15, $20. If you are platinum, that's then going to come down to £12 or $16, and it's a really lovely creative set, whether you go very creative or if you keep it very simplistic with all your papers and your inks. Lovely, lovely little set there that we're just showing you throughout. Remember, you are going to find all of them across on the website, so just, of course, navigate across there.co.uk.com or .eu. But we always love to see how we see things used, and that's what we're going to do with Lily right now with the pearl powders.
Absolutely. So I'll just show you a couple of samples so you can see the sort of concept of these absolutely gorgeous split space dies. So here, doing some of your inky backgrounds, you've got that top section of your die there, you've got the bottom section, you've got your sentiment stamp in the centre. It looks absolutely gorgeous, really quite striking cards, but just really impactful with these ones. And then another concept here, so you've got your main sort of concept in the centre there, your top of the die, the bottom of the die, your sentiment in the middle. But how about using the separate sections on the sides of your cards? That looks really effective effective to actually draw your eye in the middle.
It does, yeah.
Or how about actually doing some of your concept style cards? So here we've got a lovely diorama card, just looking into the card with that lovely sort of scene in the middle. Just absolutely gorgeous, really easy dies to work with as well. And that price on them today is absolutely fantastic. But we'll move those out of the way for now, and we'll bring in the demo that we're about to do. So I'm going to start off with a piece of our white cardstock. I have to say, I would recommend watercolour card, however, I've pretty much run out of watercolour cards, so white card it is. It'll do the trick okay with this technique. I'm going to grab one of our duet ink pads. You should find the duet ink pads, we've got a nice bundle of these over on the shop today. So we take our duet ink pad, we've got our nice large square slash rectangle blending tool here, and we're just going to start to blend some of that ink to build up the background on this white card. So we're using our Midnight Mist here, which is a nice deep blue colour, and we're just going to start at the edges of our piece of cardstock, blending in that circular direction to build up that colour, build up that blue colour onto our background here. And we're actually going to use our duet ink pads in conjunction with our pearl powders as well, just to show how you can sort of use the two together, and they work quite nicely.
Okay.
You could get a similar sort of technique if you were using our water reactive ink pads. I know we've just had our craft clinic all about our water reactives, and you could definitely use them if you want to blend over the background. If you're using your water reactives, I'd probably go for the colour of Midnight. That would work quite nicely.
Oh,
for
that
this
would be
technique.
nice, yeah.
Would look really lovely. So there we've got our blended colour all over the background there. It's quite subtle, but you can just about see that blue on the camera on there. It's a little bit more bold to the naked eye, but you can just about see that on there. So we've got our ink on there, and this is where we're going to bring in our pearl powders. So here I have got that lovely silver lining, and all I'm going to do is I'll just take the lid off, and then I'm just going to pop a little bit onto my glass mat. Now you could use a palette if you've got a palette at home, but your glass mat will work just as well. And we'll take our little spritzer here, and we're just going to spritz onto our pearl powders just to make almost like a paint out of our pearl powder. So it's more of a liquid rather than a powder. And we'll just use our paintbrush to sort of mix that together. Then all we're going to do, make sure we've got plenty of water in there, and we're just going to flick onto our background, and that's going to give us that lovely colour, that lovely sort of metallic lustre onto there, but it's also going to almost like faux bleach that ink on our background, so it gives it almost like a little bit of a 2-for-1 with that. So it's going to start to just catch that in the light there, and just about
you can just catch that there, yeah.
Very subtle on the background there, but it just shows quite nicely how the two can work together. So just get a little bit of kitchen towel just to wipe off my glass mat, just to make sure we've not got ink or pearl powder absolutely everywhere. So we'll move that out of the way, and I'll just use my water spritzer just to dampen my glass mat, just so it's easier to wipe all of that gubbins off. So we'll give that a good old wipe. And all we've done ahead of time is we've actually been a little bit more heavy-handed, I suppose, with the colour on the background there. You can see we've added a little bit more ink, but if you add more ink, if it's a little bit dark with your ink, you'll get more of that contrast with your pearl powder. So it's just a slightly different way of using your pearl powders, just showing you how you can use sort of the two together alongside your duet ink pads. So that's our background, and we'll bring in some mats and layers at this point just to start to frame this piece here. So I've got a piece of our black cardstock, and we're just going to mat and layer this background onto our black cardstock, just with about an 1/8 of an inch mats and layer all around the edge there. So we'll just line that up in the centre, and then we'll stick those two together to really help frame that background there. That little pop of black really does make a big difference to that one. And then just to keep along with that lovely metallic theme that we've got going with the pearl powders, we've just got a piece of our silver mirror card there, and we'll just mat and layer onto that piece there. Once again, cut to an 1/8 of an inch larger, just to give you a nice thin border around the edge there. And that's just going to line up. Oh.
I've got Em's books are everywhere on YouTube is saying,
Hello.
oh, good. I have a set of the pearl powders, but I haven't tried them yet.
Oh, no.
So good way, follow even just what Lily's doing, but this is where always go back to Crafter's Companion YouTube channel and see all the different things. Even just type in pearl powders. You know, you've had me, you've had Lily, the two Debbies, Leanne, Sarah, we've been using them. So you're going to get lots of different takes on them, but get them out the box is always the best thing, Lily, to start playing, isn't it?
Gosh, yeah, absolutely. There's so many different techniques you can do with them, whether you use them in powder form or whether you're doing like we've done there in almost like paint form. I know we just did a little bit of splatting there, but you could actually paint with them if you've got a stamped image. You can actually create the little paint like we've done there. You can actually colour in your stamped images with them. So lots you can do with your pearl powders. It really is just about having a play and seeing what you can come up with. Now we'll bring in our dies next. We're going to use that lovely Dream Big stamp and die set, and you do actually get both of the stamps included in this one as well. And all the stamps that you get throughout the range, you can mix and match with the different dies as well to give you even more different options. Got a piece of black cardstock here that I've cut to ever so slightly larger than the 2 dies there. And we'll just place those down onto our card there, and we'll just die cut both of those in one fell swoop.
I know, obviously, you know, you're using your large plates, and then, you know, we can see size-wise they would go through the midi or, of course, the junior. But Louise Burton on Facebook is asking Lily, do each of these sections of the dies, do they go through the mini?
I'm pretty sure they will do. When we've got this out, we'll have a little measure of the die just to double check for you. But I'm pretty sure they will, having a look at the die. Obviously, I've cut both of them together in that way, but you could, of course, cut them sort of like top to tail that way if you want. So the largest one in this set here, yeah, absolutely. It's about 2 inches by just over 3. So you have no problem whatsoever with your, even if you've only got your mini, which is great.
Perfect. Awesome. Hopefully that helps Louise that was asking that one.
Absolutely. Any more questions, just get them
fire them across. There was one, not confusion, but Crafty Angie is saying, quick question. Did you say, Craig, that you have launched the plain edge nest and dies recently? No, myself and Lily, we were talking about the nest and dies that was launched at birthday last year that went up to 4 inch, and we have been told that the next size up are definitely in production and being launched later on this year, so they will be coming. So not anytime soon, but they will be coming next year. That's what myself and Lily are really looking forward to.
Absolutely. I think for me, Craig, I don't know about you, but I think quite possibly the nesting die launch was maybe my favourite launch of last year. I think.
I'd agree with you,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I think quite often when people ask you that question, they expect you to say like one of the big collections or something like that. But for me, no, it's got to be the nesting dies.
Exactly. Never underestimate how and what you can do with a simple plain edge nest and die.
Absolutely. Definitely a crafty staple. So we've got both of our halves of our moon cut out there, ready to go. And all we've done ahead of time is we've got our 2 cut in black there, but I've just cut another 2 in some of our white cardstock. And true to form, of course, I'm going to do a drop shadow, but I want to decide first whether I want the black as the top layer or the white as the top layer. So that's what the block will look like. And then, do you know what, I think we'll have the black underneath and we'll have the white over the top like so. So move that out of the way. I'll grab myself a piece of scrap cardstock just while I'm using my dotty tape pen.
I had a question there, Daisy Wrench on YouTube, and partly this is actually my fault for not necessarily explaining it in great detail at the start of the show. Okay. Daisy is asking, what is the craft clinic and where can I find it? So that's a really good question. So Daisy, what you will is you will find craft clinics on your Make It Saturday shows. So within this show every Saturday. We will occasionally feature them maybe on other shows throughout the week. But what happens when it comes to the craft clinic, what could have done is right at the start of the show is just give you that heads up straight away. We're going to be having a look at our water reactives. Any questions, fire them across. But what we have done is every single Saturday, come in, tune in, whoever's on, we've got a craft clinic. We will tell you within that live show what the craft clinic is about. And if you've got any questions about that, now of course, throughout that whole show, if you've got any other kind of crafty questions, please do ask that. But if you've got anything specific towards that craft clinic within the Make It Saturday show, that is when the actual craft clinic takes place, and also when you can ask the questions on social. So hopefully that helped there, Daisy, and apologise for not kind of reference that necessarily at the start of the show.
Do you know what, that's given me a thought, Craig, and something I've been meaning to ask you guys at home. Obviously, we've got a few more Make It Saturdays coming up throughout the month, and surprise, I'll be here for most of them. But I want to know from you guys at home, is there any particular craft clinics that you would like to see?
Yes.
Let me know. So obviously, we've covered all sorts in the past 2 months. So is there anything that you guys would like to see covered on craft clinics? Let Craig know, send me a message on Facebook, Instagram or whatever, let us know and we'll see what we can do. So if you've got any suggestions, we're open to them, that is for certain.
Well, pretty much apart from next Saturday, it's myself and yourself the rest of the month. Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, any craft clinics you want to see, we'll do our best to run them if we can.
Louise Burton, yes, we're going to show you what was in that goodie bag again. We've still got a few of them just left. Also, another really good question as well. This is from Doreen Pete on YouTube. Is saying, Lily, he's saying you, I don't think he necessarily means you as in you, but he's saying you always spray hairspray after you've used the powders. would you do the same with the background you've just done?
That's a great question, actually. So I would, for this technique, I wouldn't. The reason being is because we've mixed them with water, we've almost like created almost like a different sort of solution, if you like. So when you mix them with water, they will sort of set on its own, almost like a paint would. However, if I was doing other techniques, for example, if I was using my translucent ink pad and adding them over the top, I would definitely add my hairspray afterwards. Or if you're adding them to your cardstock and just spritzing with water, I always add hairspray after that. But when I'm mixing them with water to create a paint, I don't tend to.
No. Awesome,
But
thank
if
you.
you want to, of course, there's no harm. If you want to definitely like double set them, then there's no harm in doing that at all.
Yeah, can I just add to that as well with the hairspray? Found out the other months of some of you guys stateside, some of your, or a lot of your hairspray have kind of scents in them and oils in them. If you can get a bog standard, cheap as chips hairspray, not anything expensive, but no scents in them, no oils, no coconut oils, just a really simple, cheap hairspray. That's what you want to use.
Absolutely, yeah. You don't want any of that nice fancy stuff, don't
No,
you?
you don't.
Using that on your pale
Nope.
powders. So all we've done here is we've added our little drop shadow of our black underneath, and I've just stuck the two pieces to some of our silver mirror card, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim around the edge. So we've just got the mirror card showing through the detail, almost a little bit like we've paper pieced it, but without having to spend all the time of paper piecing all these different elements. So I'm just going around with my scissors here, and I'm just trimming, just sort of angling those scissors ever so slightly so I can trim under the very edge of that die cut there to make sure that I've not got any of that silver card showing around the edge. It just gives you that lovely pop of silver through the detail with these lovely die cuts, and we'll do exactly the same on that top half of the image here. We just go around with our pair of scissors, just making sure that we trim all that excess away at the edges, leaving us with that lovely metallic sheen just through the detail there. Almost like we've paper pieced it, but of course that was super quick. Look, great paper piecing, be a really fun technique to do, but just to make it a little bit quicker, a little bit easier, you can just add your cardstock behind there.
Yeah.
So we're bringing our card base here, and we'll just start to lay this out. So we've got our top half, our bottom half, and then we've got our sentiment here that we've just used from the collection there. So just start to sort of bring that together.
Cool.
So I'll stick that top part. I think we'll stick the two halves of our die cut down flat, and then we'll raise up our sentiment in the centre. So I'll add some of my tape pen to that section there where it's a little bit more solid, and then I'll just use my tacky glue onto those more intricate areas. So I'll pop that around about there. Just going to try and make sure I've got it nice and central and that bottom line is nice and straight. Trying to use sort of the grid on my glass mat to help line that one up. Then we'll take our sentiment here with some of our foam tape. So just a nice length of foam tape down the middle of our sentiment there. And that's going to sit nicely between the two halves of that die cut. So I'll just go.
Doreen Peter saying, thank you so much for your answer, Lily. And Daisy Wrench on YouTube saying, got it, thank you. Really sorry, I was looking for a separate airing called Craft Clinic. Don't apologise, that's what we're here for. Questions when it comes to the shows, the products, ideas, inspirations. But yes, Make It Saturday, every Make It Saturday, and occasionally you may find one being popped up within one of the shows during the week, but we always let you know within that show.
Absolutely we do. So a very, very clean and simple card there, just showing you a few different techniques by using your duet ink pads with that lovely pearl powder, almost like paint technique, and then a little bit of almost like a faux paper piecing technique onto that beautiful split space dies. So very clean, very crisp, very modern dies. Make the most beautiful, striking, impactful cards, but very quick and easy, and so much fun to craft with too.
Awesome. Thank you for that one, Lily. If you want to grab hold, of course, of those split space dies, you can do that for £15 or $20 with, of course, the platinum price of £12 or $16, which means you are going to be getting, yes, your 4 sets, but within each of the sets, you've got 2 split space dies and 2 sentiment dies. So you've got your moon or dream big, that it's actually called, that Lily used just for you. You've got there with also with love. You've then also got your Eurostar with the lots of love and Eurostar. And then you've also got your florals, that one there being your floral notes, being just a note and congratulations. So that's your 4 sets that you're going to be getting there for your platinum price of £12 or $16. So I had another couple of questions, kind of generic questions when it comes to crafty tools, that when we come back, what I'll do is I'll fire them across to Lily. For those that have been watching all throughout the morning, throughout the day so far, you'll be familiar. For anyone that's just joining, may not be quite familiar, as to, of course, course, what you will have found, of course, is the questions that you guys, stateside anyway, have been asking regarding, of course, the taxes that have come into play. Now, when it came to this morning, it was so imperative to Sarah that she wanted to, of course, answer your questions the best way she could, and that is why she has done a video for us. So if you've not seen it, here is Sarah as of just the other, about an hour ago, just explaining what she needs to explain.
Hi everyone, so we've been listening to all of the questions and concerns and discussions in all of the communities and through our customer channels over the last 24 hours or so, and we're really aware that the increased tariffs imposed by the US government are resulting in a significant change to the cost of shopping with us at Crafters Companion for our US customers. So I wanted to take time to explain the situation personally for all of you. Now, whilst as a business, we strive to bring our products to our US customers at the lowest cost possible, we are obliged to do that in line with US government regulations, and they now include increased tariffs and fees and the removal of exemptions from fees for priced shipments. Now, we've been provided with software to add to our checkout, which means that we can ensure the new US government tariffs and fees are applied at the point of purchase, and that enables us to remit the correct amount of tax direct to the US government in line with US law. Now, these new charges applied solely cover the new tariffs and fees charged by the US government. You've got to understand, Crafters Companion have not applied any additional charges that we will benefit from as a business at all, right? Now, whilst our business is based in the UK, like the majority of craft products in the market, many of our products are manufactured in China. And the US regulations state that tariffs have to be applied based on the country of origin of the product. So that's where it's manufactured, which unfortunately means that these are subject to significantly higher tariffs than products that are manufactured in other countries. And since the tariff announcements a few weeks ago, we've been proactively exploring how we can shift some of our production to other countries, potentially to reduce the cost of tariffs for our customers. But this is a really delicate balancing act, because the benefit of manufacturing the products in China is lower production costs and therefore lower prices for our customers. And moving our production to another country will inevitably increase the cost of products and therefore the prices that we're going to have to charge. So please, please just rest assured that we are working tirelessly to try and minimise the impact of these tariffs for our customers. And in the meantime, we've decided that we're going to be bringing you Crafters TV shows to help you craft all of the stash that you already have and still provide some fantastic education and entertainment for our community. You must understand, our US customers mean the world to us, and we are fully committed to navigating these changes with you.
Thank you so much to Sarah for, of course, doing that video for all of you guys. Hopefully that helped. If there is still any question you've got, please do, of course, reach out to the team and they will do everything that they can to help you out. Now, this week, coming on Monday, we are going to be starting with our Craft Your Stash. Yes, you've got it. You've got Ben and you've got Debbie Robinson. Certainly Debbie's here for the start of the week. So we've got 3 Craft Your Stash shows. For those items, those products, those collections that you have been purchasing over the days, the weeks, the months, now is the opportunity not only for you guys to get lots and lots of other ideas and inspiration and get the use out of them. This is where the additional fun comes in for us guys, because a little bit like what Lilly done beforehand, where we just come in and we have a nice creative play, come up with different ideas. That's what we're going to do, but also step you through lots of educational ways in which you can use your collections from Crafters Companion. So we are diving straight in on Monday, doing everything that we absolutely can with Ben and Debbie. Now, one of the things, or one of the many things that you could be playing away with is, of course, the goodie bag. Now, we did have a look at it earlier on, and a lot of people, certainly like sort of Louise, has been saying, can we see it again? Well, you can absolutely do that. Now, we've only got 25 of these ones left. I'm going to show you essentially what you're paying for, and everything else is no additional cost. To make it easier, I've taken it out of the bag for myself here, but you're going to be £35, $45, or £28 or $36. Now, if I just refer back to that today's price, that means essentially what you're going to be paying for is your 3 sparkle pens, gold, silver and onyx black. You're going to get your 8 Christmas frame Laird dies, and then you're also going to be getting your Gemini Mini number dies. That's essentially, on the today's price, what you are paying for. Everything else is coming to you for no additional cost. So you have got, of course, your stencils from the Myths and Legends, some of which you'll have seen Lilly using earlier on. You've got your With Love sentiment die, creates that kind of bridged work effect within the card blank, also the one that Lilly used within her demo earlier on. No additional cost. You're then going to be getting your Thankful stamp and die in there. You're then also going to be getting from Day of the Dead is in there. You're then going to then be getting your Blessed, your Grateful and Blessed. So that one here is giving you 9 dies. Well, it's actually giving you 8 dies and 1 sentiment stamp. Got your pumpkin, your butternut squash, that's in there, as well as your foliage. Then you've got your 4-piece set here. This is a stamp, a die. It's also then going to be giving you your template with a sentiment here. Great for popping your little gems or pearls in. That's in there, no additional cost. You've then got your 6x6 2D embossing folder. Use it on its own, but what you have also got is you've got a die that will work in conjunction with, of course, the centre, and even the centred stamp that will work in, of course, the die. So lots of creative flexibility from using just this one set. That's in there, no additional cost. You've got your Just Because sentiment die with that matte and layer to go with it. You've then also got your 4-piece tweezer set. So you've got your spatula tweezer, point tweezer, angled tweezer, and then you've got your reverse press tweezers in there. Then you've got your Autumn Squirrel. That's in there, die form, 10 dies, multi-craft dies. What does that mean? Your materials, your fabrics, your mount boards, all your thicker weight items you're going to be able to die cut, but you can, of course, still cut your card, still cut your paper, no problem at all. That's in there. Then what you're also going to be getting for no additional cost is your 12x12 Vintage Vegas. Now, today's National Scrapbook Month, so you will find across on the Crafters Companion social, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you're going to find scrapbook pages from Lilly, from myself, the 2 Debbies as well. Mine's shock horror is wrestling themed, because we had carte blanche on whatever we wanted to do. So therefore, I use my Vintage Vegas 12x12 paper pad here. So we've gone in and then we've used them that you'll see across on the social channels, as well, of course, as mine, using that 12x12 Vintage Vegas paper pad, 36 sheets, double-sided. All of that is what you are not paying for. We've got 25 of them left. What you are paying for is those 3 on the today's price, 3 items here, but you're going to be getting all of that for that price of £28.36 platinum. So that one there is, of course, all of the goodie bags. 25 of them ones left. Now, when it comes to the next item that we're going to have, I'm going to show you just in a moment. Let's do reverse. Lilly, can we have a look at some finished samples?
We certainly can. Now, this collection is absolutely gorgeous, and it's no surprise to me whatsoever that you guys at home absolutely love this collection when Sarah launched it on Wednesday. It is a fantastic collection that brings together both silhouette dies, your stencils and your sentiment stamps as well, and there's so many different techniques you can do with these fantastic collection. Whether you're going to be using them in silhouette, like we can see there, cutting from your black cardstock, or whether you're going to be bringing in all those lovely crafty mediums, all those colouring mediums that we have, like our tri-blend pens, like our paints, like our inks, and actually adding colour to those beautiful silhouettes. Whether you're going to be using them actually as apertures rather than that die cut itself, actually taking what's usually the waste to create fabulous apertures where you can create shakers. That looks incredible. Whether you're going to be doing your different concept of cards, like your fantastic fallback cards, there is tons and tons you can do with these stamps, dies and stencils. They're such a versatile collection. I just love all these different sort of effects, all these different looks and feels we can get from one collection. It's a fantastic collection, literally hot off the press, launched just this week with Sarah. She loves them, we love them, and I know you guys at home absolutely love them as well. And if you've not already stocked up on this fantastic collection, then now is the time to do so.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, for Lilly. If you want to grab hold, of course, of the collection, not just the collection, showstopper, epic showstopper, let's step you through it here. These ones there being your silhouette dies. This is giving you a 12-piece showstopper as well. £55.70 with the platinum of £44.56. You're going to be getting your cherished memories. So you've got the die, you've then got your stencil with the sentiment stamp as well. So really, really beautiful silhouette aspects. I love using them in plain, simple black cardstock to create that silhouette. I know when Sarah launched these the other day, she did different techniques, colouring with them as well, using glitter paste through the stencils if you want to. You can do all of that. But I think they really do, in a subtle way, they really do make a statement when it comes to the actual images within the silhouette set. So you've got that one, probably one of my favourites. I absolutely love that one. Then, of course, we've got the little happy couple there and the swing. That's how it looks when it comes to the die, the sentiment, the stencil, all separate. So mix and match. Maybe you want to use this sentiment for one of the other die sets. Then, of course, you've got gorgeous girl with all that hair with the actual butterflies. So you've got that one there. That is, of course, your silhouette collection. But because it is the showstopper, what you're also then going to be getting is your glitter glue in here. This one being your Willow glitter glue. Then from Vintage Vegas, you've got Elvis, you've got the King. So you've got the buildable aspect of creating your King of Elvis or whatever character you want. You've then also got your outline die. So this one is giving you your what's that one? Prairie Visitor you've got there. So that one cuts all that detail in. Then you've got your Bloomin' Florals. So that one there is your die. That one is a 3D embossing folder and a sentiment stamp even. That is in your showstopper. You've also then got your non-WWE Wing Title Championship belt die, that I always like to call it, but it's not technically. You can see it is just your Grecian harp wreath. That one there, in case you wonder, if you wonder what I was on about, me and Ben always have a laugh. It always reminds me of like the original winged WWE Championship belt. And then also got your copper glitter card, shedless glitter card, that one being 10 sheets, 250 GSM A4 in size. That is everything that consists of your showstopper, featuring that brand new launch that just launched, as well as those additional items there. £55.70. You've got your platinum price, £44, or for you guys stateside, $56. Gives you everything, plus additional education we're away to see with Lilly.
Absolutely. Now, given it's National Scrapbook Day today, I thought, you know what, it would be rude not to create a scrapbook page. So, as part of this demo, we're actually going to recreate this beautiful sample here by Marie. Absolutely gorgeous scrapbook page. It's actually a little bit smaller than 12 by 12. It's about 11 by 11 inches in size, this scrapbook page. But of course, you could scale it up for it to be a full 12 by 12. But using those absolutely beautiful silhouette dies in there, you've got your sentiment stamps, you've got even those lovely details using your stencils in the background. So this is going to be the sort of thing that we're going to recreate as part of this demo. So we'll leave that to one side for a moment. I'll keep it in my eye line to make sure that I hopefully stay on track. And we're going to bring in our scrapbook page. So all I've done to start with is I've taken a piece of white cardstock and I've cut this one down to 11 inches square. And then I've taken a piece of my black cardstock and I've cut that to ever so slightly smaller. It's about 1/8 of an inch smaller. And then the next layer down is going to be my white layer, which we've cut down to, once again, 1/8 of an inch smaller. So we've got 11 inches, we've got 10 7/8, and we've got 10 3/4 when it comes to these different pages here. Now for this one, what I've done ahead of time is I've brought in that lovely stencil. And I've started to add a little bit of detail to this background here using the stencil. So I'm going to repeat this sort of design that we've got here. So I'm just going to pop my stencil, and what I've done ahead of time is I've just sprayed a little bit of our stick and spray on the back of there. So it's ever so slightly tacky, which will just make things a little bit easier when we come to blend through this stencil. So we'll pop that onto our cardstock. We'll take our Raspberry Ripple Duet ink pad, which should be part of that Duet ink pad bundle over on the Shop the Day. And we'll just grab our finger dauber here, and we're just going to work the ink into this stencil. Now, because it's such an intricate, such a delicate stencil here, all I'm going to do is I'm actually, rather than sort of going in circular motions, what can happen, especially with such a detailed stencil, is you can sort of snag your blending sponge a little bit, and it will mean that you get through blending sponges a little bit quicker in terms of the wear and tear on them. So by going in circles, just like so, it allows you to work the ink into those very, very detailed areas, and it just sort of preserves your tools a little bit longer. So So we're just working those circular motions just to start to build up that colour. And obviously you've got very, very intricate areas there on the bottom of those images. So it just takes a little bit of work of getting that ink into those areas. So then all we'll do is we'll just ease back that stencil there. And you can see we've got that lovely stencil design through the stencil, just like
Nice way to use it with a scrapbook background.
Isn't it nice just to sort of build that design up? And it's nice to sort of repeat that design as well. Makes it look sort of like a more full design than it actually is. So that looks really, really sort of put together there on the background. So we'll move that ink pad out of the way and we'll bring back in our mats and layers and we'll start to build together our page. So we'll take this piece that we've just added our stencils to and we'll mat and layer onto our black. Now when it comes to scrapbooking, what I'll tend to do is I'll tend to work sort of outwards from my photo. So I'll choose my photo first and then I'll sort of pick out colours within the photo that I'm going to use as the focal sort of colours of my project. And then I'll sort of take it from there in terms of the patterns that I'm using and the mats and layers. So we're focusing on those nice sort of pinky, orangey sort of colour tones for this one. And black mats and layers always tend to make those lovely bright colours pop that little bit more. So you can't go too far wrong with using your black mats and layers if you're not too sure what colour to add as your accent colour. So that's going to be onto our black like so. And then this other piece is going to go onto our scrapbook page, which is 11.5 inches square. So we'll take our glue once again. So just using my Collal all-purpose, it's my go-to when I'm crafting at home. I tend to use my all-purpose all the time for my mats and layers. Love it, it's such a good adhesive. Even for your scrapbooking as well, it will work a treat. So we'll place that onto our scrapbook page, that main page, just like so. And by having 3 layers of your cardstock there, it's going to be a nice, especially when that glue's dry, it's going to be a nice and sturdy scrapbook page with all those layers of card. Especially if you're going to be popping this perhaps in a photo frame to have it on the wall, you just know you've got a nice, strong and sort of sturdy background for your layout. Then we're going to start to bring in our mats and layers. Now I've taken some of the paper from that lovely honeysuckle 12 by 12 paper pad. And what I'm sort of thinking with this design, what we've got going on with this one, is we've got almost like a sort of a cross design. So we've got one layer that's going up and down like that way, and then we've got another one that's going to intersect that one and going to be at a sort of an angle to that one, like so. So it's going to start to sort of build that design together. Then when we place our photo onto there, it's going to sort of bring your eye into the photo that we've got in the centre there. So we'll start to stick these together. So with this one, what we've done is we've done the same sort of technique that we did with our ink there. And then on just to the other side, I took one of my glitter paste and pasted through the stencil. I believe it was the Silver Bells glitter paste that I used for this one. And
see, sorry Lily,
no, go on.
See while like you're just doing that, I had a question just a short while ago from Daisy. It's about a card, but actually it would work well with what you're doing here. She's saying, do you have a particular number of card layers that you like best? And is it always 1/4 of an inch between each layer that you like to do?
Do you know, that's a really good question. Wasn't there a show a few years back when they counted how many layers there was on one of your cards, Craig?
I think so, yeah.
There was, and there was quite a lot. Me and Craig are similar in this. We like lots of layers on our cards because it just makes a big difference in terms of sort of what mats and layers kind of do is they kind of frame the layers on your card and just sort of draw your eye into the centre. For me, so for example, if I've got a pattern paper here I've got 2 mats and layers. I've got the white and then I've got the black. I'd always have at least one accent colour where I've got a mat and layer, sometimes 2 like we've got here. But there's not sort of a sort of rule and you've got to have this many mats and layers. But by adding mats to your card, it's just going to start to frame things and bring them together nicely. So no sort of rule. But for me, when it comes to the increments, I tend to go for 1/8 of an inch, which are the very, very thin mats and layers. I know a lot of the other guys on the team go for 1/4 of an inch, which is a little bit more chunky, but I prefer the really, really thin mats and layers with your 1/8 of an inch onto there. But it's sort of your personal preference. If you prefer the slightly wider mats and layers at 1/4 of an inch, then that's very much your own personal preference, really. So we're just going to pop our foam pads onto the back. Now, the only difficulty for me with scrapbooking is the dimension, because I have to try and keep the foam pad use under a little bit more control.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
That's sort of my only struggle with scrapbooking. I do love it, but I tend to allow myself 1 layer of foam pads. So here we've got our foam pads onto our photo, and I tend to have my 3D adhesive, whether it's foam tape, foam pads, 3D glue gel, whatever it might be. I tend to raise the photo up, because at the end of the day, when you create a scrapbook page, the photo is the focus. So
absolutely.
It's the same with the card. Anything that you raise up with using your foam pads or your 3D adhesive is going to be sort of brought to the forefront a little bit more. It's going to be the focus. So if you're going to raise up your photo, using your foam pads, that's going to allow that to be the focus of your project. So foam pads onto the back of there, everything else is going to be flat. And then we'll move that to one side for just a few moments while we bring in these lovely dies. So we've got the Make-A-Wish die set here. I've just got a little piece of, I say a little piece, it certainly is a little piece there. It's only ever so slightly larger than the die itself.
More.
Just enough onto there, and we're just going to tape those two together. So we've got her main outline there, and then you've got actually that little bow detail that we're going to cut out as well. So we'll tape those down, and then we'll just run them through. There
is a lot of people saying thank you for all the questions that you've been answering, Lily, with all your tips as well. Also, a lot of love for the actual layout of this scrapbook page. There has been a few questions that have been coming through that I'll just ask Lily just shortly about a few different things. But yeah, thank yous, and also love for the layout that you're doing is what's coming through.
Absolutely. I mean, I love scrapbooking. I'm going to have to try and make a concerted effort more often in demos to do scrapbook pages instead, because every time I do one, I've always, it sort of reminds me how much I love scrapbooking. So I will try. I've said it out loud now, so I'm going to have to.
You've said it now.
Going to have to do it. I'm going to have to try and do more scrapbook pages. So I know you guys at home, especially you guys stateside, always appreciate it. So I promise I'll try and do a little bit more. Tell you what, maybe in my next craft along, I'll have to do a scrapbook page. That'd be quite fun.
There's an idea.
I've not done one of those for ages as a craft along, so I'll try and keep that in mind.
That's one of your favourites, isn't it, the craft alongs?
Yeah, I do love a craft along. The thing is, we're doing weekends as well. It means I get to do lots of craft alongs, which is fabulous to sort of show you a project from start to finish. So there is our outline there cut in black, sort of the traditional way, I suppose, of using the silhouettes. And then, of course, it wouldn't be one of my projects without a drop shadow. So all we've done ahead of time is we've just taken some of our Solar Gold Centura Pearl, and we've just cut those two elements once again using that lovely gold card, and we'll just drop shadow the gold underneath the black. And while I'm drop shadowing, it'd be a perfect opportunity, Craig, if you've got any questions.
Yeah, let's do that. We have got, now where was I that I got to? Let me just scroll back that little bit more. Lindsay Goodson on YouTube had said, random question, not random, Lindsay, nothing is random. This is certainly not random. She's saying, I have a random question I've always wondered about, please. With the craft knife, you get the straight blade and you get the wobbly blade. That's what I call it. What is the wobbly one used for? Thank you, Lindsay.
So I have to say, Lindsay, I don't tend to use a craft knife.
Me neither.
I'm more of a sort of a pair of scissors girl, but I believe, and Craig, please correct me if I'm wrong, the swivel is more for going around curves.
Yep. Yeah.
There we go.
Yep.
So if you're straight, you tend to use it for cutting a straight line. If you want to go around your curves, like if you're doing your decoupage or anything like that, the swivel, or what do you call it, the wobbly one?
She calls it the wobbly.
The wobbly one.
Yep.
The wobbly one's better for going around your curves.
Yeah,
good
absolutely.
Question, though.
Yeah, it's a really, really good question. It's also a bit like if you like to fussy cut like I do. I like to do it with scissors.
Me
Some
too.
people will do it with the wobbly blade.
Absolutely,
because exactly as Lily says, you can go round the corners with ease. We have also got, let me scroll down to ones missed. Trudy is saying, are the pearl powders, Lily, the same as mica powders?
No, they are a little bit different to your mica powders. So these are just like your pearly powders. They're very different to your colour creations in that they're not a pigment per se. So they're more about giving the metallic rather than the colour, if that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah. Louise Burton on Facebook is saying, what did you use, Lily, on the back of the stencil to make it stick?
Oh, that's a good question. I'll go to one side and I'll grab it here. Now, this is my go-to when it comes to any sort of stencil. I know some people use low-tack tape or just hold it in position, but I always use my stick and spray, which is the one with a purple top there. So that's your repositionable adhesive. Just spray that on the back of your stencil. Leave it about 15 seconds to go tacky, and that will give you that lovely hold, but it's not going to damage your cardstock. It's not going to stick too strongly to your cardstock, so it's going to give you that perfect result.
Perfect. And then we've got another one here from M's Books Are Everywhere on YouTube is saying, is there anything besides hairspray to set the powders? I think I have some spray to protect my inkjet printer paper and ink and other water-based medias. Would that work?
It's one of those I'd say just give it a go. I'd just use a little bit of pearl powder on perhaps a piece of scrap paper and just use a little bit of your spray to give it a go. I can't say without trying it, I'm not 100% sure. One that I do know does work is your stick and Spray and Shine, apologies, though I believe it's the one in the red bottle. Your Spray and Shine, that will work in exactly the same way, but obviously that will give it a little bit of a shine as well. So if you want to add extra shine to your pearl powders, then your Spray and Shine will work as well. But I'd say just have a little experiment, have a go and see whether it works or not. Fingers crossed it will.
Awesome. But that, at the moment, anyway, that's all the questions. But there's been lots of lovely comments. Daisy Wrench is saying, yes, to more scrapbooking. It's my retirement plan to take the bazillion photos that I have in the boxes and make them into albums. We've also got Cindy Coney is saying, so glad I got this die set. Can't wait for it to arrive. Daisy Wrench is saying, love that you have added the stencil directly to the photo. Robin is saying, all the layers, all the way, love it. Chantel is saying, gorgeous layout, Lily. Chantel is also saying, I love the idea of having more shows crafting our stash, as we all have heaps of collections that we haven't used up. That's exactly what's starting on Monday with Debbie and Ben. It's going to be the Craft Your Stash. And I know that, well, I know we all adore shows like that, but I know Debbie just relishes in them. She absolutely does.
Absolutely. It's almost like having carte blanche, isn't it? You can go dive back into your stash. You can use all your old goodies, all the bits that I know a lot of you guys at home will have, and just sort of revisit some of those old techniques, some of those old things that we used to do years and years ago, products that we used to use many years ago. It's great to have that opportunity to revisit all those. I have to say I'm excited. It's going to be good.
What I also love about them, although of course with Crafters TV it is social based, there is still, I'm going to say, there's still laws that we have to follow. And technically we're not always meant to be using stuff that we can't sell. But because these are dedicated, educational, Craft Your Stash shows, you will find there'll be a theme with the shows next week, but then Debbie will just get to use whatever she wants within our ranges, because it's about you guys at home getting the ideas, getting the inspiration, and getting what you've already purchased from us back out if it's not already out, and just using it to its full potential.
Absolutely, that's what it's all about. I know we all do it to a lesser or greater degree. We all buy stuff.
Of course we do.
We love it when we see it, we forget about it, we put it at the back of the cupboard because we've got another crafty purchase that's just arrived. So it's a perfect opportunity. Perhaps Debbie's going to be using some stuff next week that you look at, you think, oh goodness, I know I've got that somewhere. I'm going to take this opportunity to get it back out, get it used, and just enjoy crafting. So it's an exciting week. We all love a bit of Craft Your Stash.
We do indeed.
And I can't wait to see what old products that Debbie Robinson's going to bring in next week.
Can you imagine?
There'll be all sorts. Can't wait.
Yeah, that'll be good. Do we know yet, Johnny, what kind of theme that we've got?
We do. Yeah, we do. So not tomorrow. Monday is there's a glue school, there's an ink pads, and there's a scoreboard.
Nice.
Tuesday we've got a Gemini 2-1. And we've also got cardstock, which I have to say the cardstock one was my request, even though I'm not doing the show. I thought, you know what, Debbie Robinson will love a cardstock Craft Your Stash, and I know you guys at home will as well. So all the questions, Debbie will want all your questions coming in next week with all the Craft Your Stash shows, and I know she'll get those answered. But there you go. How much fun was that to create? Using that fantastic collection there, using your amazing silhouette dies, stamps and stencils. Just a really fun scrapbook page that you can create there. Pop all your own photos in there, bring in your glitter paste. It's a little bit of crafting your stash, I suppose, within this one. Obviously, we've used our brand new lovely silhouette dies, but we've used some of our older papers, we've used some of our older inks, glitter paste to start to bring this project together. But that's what it's all about. Just something a little bit different using those fantastic silhouette dies.
There, awesome. Now, if you want to grab hold, of course, that set just launched there with Sarah and George, and then of course you've got that goodie bag as well. Grab hold of that, £55 or $70. Your platinum is going to be £44 or $56 for all of those silhouette dies and the actual stencils, and of course the stamps as well. Great, great set. You can always go back to what Sarah used, and also did Debbie Fisher have a play with them as well? She did as well. So of course you're going to have Debbie, you're going to have Sarah, and also what Lily was using there a moment ago. So grab hold of it. It is across on the website .co.uk.com or .eu. This is now, of course, where we're going to have a look at demo of the week, is it?
We certainly are.
It is indeed. Now, of course, we've got 4, I believe, when it comes to, I think they're both, 2 are Sarah and 2 are Debbie's. I have to like, because Jamie kindly put a post-it note, I like how he's put Sarah D, as if we wouldn't have known who Sarah was. How many Sarahs?
A lot.
Do you notice that?
And also, I'm going to be pedantic, you know what I'm like for spelling. You've spelled Debbie Fisher's name wrong.
What's he done? Oh, he's talking about the Y.
It's nearly as bad as spelling my name with only one L in the middle, isn't it?
Do you know something? See the amount of times that I have to stop myself and think whenever I go to write your name?
It's because it's usually spelt with one L and
Yeah.
the flower's one L.
Yeah.
It's
But
my
there's
problem.
something about, for me anyway, your name that I know straight away. If I do one L, I know straight away,
Looks
oh no,
wrong.
it's not, it's two
Yeah.
L's. Doesn't look right.
There you go.
There we go. Little bit of thing when it comes to Lily's name.
Just remember, Jamie, in weeks to come, if any of my demos up for demo of the week, if there's one L on that post-it note, it won't be good. Anyway, this is one from Sarah D.
Oh, who's that?
There you go. So, a lovely card. This is gorgeous, this one, actually. This is using those lovely silhouette dyes and some of your colour creation powders. That is demo number 1. Next up, another one from Sarah D. Coming in at number 2 is a lovely easel card using, once again, those lovely silhouette dyes, stamps and stencils. That is demo number 2. Demo number 3, I have to say, I do like this one. This is from... I was wondering what that said underneath that. I've just realised it's Tiny Treasures. But it said something else.
Tiny T.
Oh dear. Debbie Fisher is coming up with this one here. Love that. The fact that she's used the Easter dye but popped baby in the centre.
That's the way to say, yeah.
That's cool, that. That's a good idea. Love that one. That is demo number 3. And then one more coming up from Debbie Fisher. Gosh, she's loving her Laird sentiments, isn't she, this week? Another one from Debbie Fisher there. That is demo number 4. So is it going to be demo number 4? Is it going to be demo number 3? Will it be demo number 2? Or will it be demo number 1? Down to you guys. Power is in your hands.
Absolutely, yeah. So we'll just wait on that voting result coming in just shortly. But what I want to touch upon is, of course, just beforehand we were talking about with it being National Scrapbook Month. We got an email from our team next door. Victoria was asking if we could all do a scrapbook page. And said you can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter, you know, just something that, of course, is close to you. So, of course, I had to do the wrestling. I had to. I couldn't not do it, having just watched WrestleMania there. All of them are up on social now. So whether, of course, it's Crafters Companion, Instagram, whether it's Facebook, I think they're up on TikTok as well. I'm there, you're there, the two Debbies are there. What did you do within your one?
Well, do you know what? I worried because I first thought, do I have to use my favourite collection? Because then I just panicked and I thought, well, I don't know what my favourite collection is. So I thought I'll start with the photo. As always with the scrapbook, I'll start with the photo. I started a photo of myself and my little niece at a birthday party a few weeks ago. So that was the basis. And I thought, even though I can't pick my favourite collection, I thought, what do I love product-wise? And I thought, well, I love pretty papers and I love flowers. So I went back into my older stash, some really, really old paper pads, good few years old. So I brought out some of my lovely papers, lots of layers, lots of flowers. And I just tried to make it quite nice and pretty. I have to say I spent about 4 hours on it in the end. Yeah. I just got totally and utterly lost, but great fun to create, I have to say. It
was, and I touched upon this earlier on when myself and Lily had started off the show, briefly talked about it there. The only little bit of the window that I had was on my day off to do it. As we always say, whether it's demos or anything like that, it's not actually like a day off. You're getting to sit and we get to craft. You know what I mean? They can take a wee while, but still, it's still on a day off. It's still crafting away. But I was like, yep, let's do it. Let's go. And I must have spent, a good few hours on it because I just enjoyed playing. I had that layout, of course, because, of course, for those that didn't know, the wrestling was in Vegas. I just thought, oh, vintage Vegas.
Easy,
Absolutely. And there's little, I've got kind of like a couple of little Easter eggs on mine. What I mean by that is if you go on and you have a look, you've got at the top one, you have got... You've got Roman Reigns, you've then got Seth Rollins, and then you've got CM Punk. Loving the fact that Lily's looking at me and nodding as if she knows what I'm on about.
Oh, I've heard you talk about these people before. I don't know who they are, but I've heard of
these people. These wrestlers. But if you notice on mine, that picture is up on the top left-hand corner. On the bottom right-hand corner, it's Cody Rhodes and it's John Cena.
Right, yeah.
But if you look, I've used the slot die. And then I've got number 1 and number 2 because that was the main event for night 1, and then that was the main event for night number 2. Clever. You are so bored, Lily.
No,
you are so bored.
I'll tell you what I'm thinking, because obviously I've seen your scrapbook page in the flesh. I'm trying to think, did I notice any of these things? And
well, that's the point.
I don't think I did.
No.
No, I need to go back and look. It's like a visual journey. You see one thing to start with, you look again, you see more. Ooh.
I'm being told I need to tell you the winner and stop talking about wrestling.
That was
Anyway.
Johnny and not me, can I just say?
Yeah, it was actually.
That was not
It
me.
was actually.
That was not me.
Yes.
Come on, who's the winner?
But yes, no, it was lovely. You can go across, of course, onto the social platforms and see the scrapbook pages to Debbie's as well. Righty-o. Okay, they're saying I was waiting to say it there. I keep saying it in my ear. Number 1. So Johnny was saying it's number 1, Craig. It's number 1. Sarah.
Sarah D.
Sarah D.
Well done, Sarah D. Don't know who you are, Sarah D, but you've won.
Fabulous. Now, if you didn't see what Sarah done to create that one, then here we go. There's Sarah's demo right now, creating that card.
Right, here we go. So I've cut myself a little bit of watercolour card and I'm just going to use our continuous mister there just to get plenty of, I'm just going to get it nice and wet, right? I'm just going to make sure there that's nice and all soaked in to the paper here, right? Now, the one I'm taking inspiration from, I want it as though she's blown it and it's coming out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start here and I want it coming out like this. So if I just use those little Colour Creations powders, I'm just going to dab a little bit as though it's coming out from the middle and coming out like this, right? So we've got little bits of the powder and I'm going to start with one. Have you had a play with these yet, George? Have you seen?
Not yet.
Oh, you're going to absolutely love these, right? So all you do, they like little explosions of colour. Oh, look, I didn't want you over there. I didn't want so much of that over there. I should have really, what do you call it, masked it off is what I should have done, right? So let's have a little bit of the purple there. Right, so can you see I've got little bits of colour.
Right.
And actually, so let me just get some cardstock. I'm going to just mask you off a little bit so that it does give me that look. So I'm going to pop that there. And then this here. That's what I should have done so that we were only getting the colour where we wanted it, right? Because then, as soon as I add more of the... look at that, you see? And you start and get all of that merging into one, right? There we go. So I'm just getting that little bit of a feel and getting the mix all kind of coming in together, all right? So if I take these out the way now, there we go, you see. I didn't quite want it as harsh as that.
Yeah.
But I can just take a little bit of, right. I'm making a bit of a mess here, but it's going to be gorgeous once that dries out. So let's just take a little bit of extra colour out. Now you can see why I took my jacket off.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So now we've got that nice kind of subtle effect going on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get that dry because that's giving me a nice base that I can then do the stenciling from as well. All right. There we go. Just take me a second. Have we got many people in watching today? Much chit-chat going on there?
I think loads of people are just engrossed in this and what we're doing. Producer Johnny just said to me the fantastic birthday code for yourself, Sarah B Day 20, on the website, across the website. Not on new launches, but try. All we ever say is try it, see what happens. So it's not on new launches, bundles, all third party, but just type it in at the end of the checkout and see what happens. You'll be surprised. On individuals, Sarah B Day 20, getting you 20% off selected items on the website. There is a category for you to have a look at. But listen, at the checkout, try it, see what happens, and who knows, you may be pleasantly surprised with an extra 20% off in your basket.
Well, that's it. You might as well give it a go, see what it works on. Right. Here we go. So let me bring in now the stencil, right? So as I'm going to do little bits of the stenciling, I'm just going to use the black here. Oh, crikey, look, I've got stuff all over already, right? So let me have a little bit of this coming, I think we'll have it coming out this way. There we go. Apparently, is that you saying that, Producer Jenny? Is that someone? Producer Jenny says, I'm the best dressed crafter in the business. I tell you what, I'll take that. I've got a big day of meetings as well, you see. Trying not to get too messy. This is my thing. I've got crafters TV shows today and big meetings in the office. I'm trying to juggle everything all in one. I've got a webinar after this I'm going to be delivering. Right, so I'm just using that coming all the way through. And can you see I'm just moving this stencil round. Let's add a couple of little bits of ones
and which ink is that, Sarah?
So this is our water reactive.
Right.
So water reactive is the best one for you to be doing this with. There you go, you see. So it's all right. You can build up as many of these as you want of that little bit of a fluttering going through, okay? Yep. So there's my base ready to work from. And actually, look, there's the one that... So can you see it's a little bit of a different feel now. It's got more intense colour. Because I popped that off, I took a little bit of the intensity of the colour out. So it's depending on how you want to build it. You can see with this one here that I was taking my inspiration from, uses the lighter colours to blend all of that out, and the black stands out a little bit more. So you build it however you want. What I'm going to do now then is I'm going to use them little bits of cardstock I had, and we're going to cut out the die pieces as well.
Okay.
Now remember what I said, all of these dies will fit through your mini.
Perfect.
It's going to be loads easier to do all of your die cutting really quickly. And you'll learn this with me, George, I'm a really big fan, I'm a bit obsessed with taking the die and then doing an extra layer with a gold or a silver or a bit of a shadow colour. So just giving myself a little bit of a base coming under here.
Yep.
So there's my first one. There she is. Out you come, lovely. Do you know?
The detail
Can we
in
just
that.
appreciate the detail in these?
Yeah.
Look at that. Can you see even round her ear and whatnot? There's so much detail in that there. She looks fabulous. Apparently, Leah, do you know what? Let me just get you that on the close-up so you can have a little look. There.
Oh, wow.
Look at that, isn't that? Now that, you might, so it looks a little bit like Leanne's grandkids, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, she based it on them.
Amazing.
Little Adrian Evie. So Leanne's got two lovely little granddaughters.
Yes.
And she based the inspiration for this die was on Leanne's granddaughters. So, which I just think's super cute.
Yeah.
But you know what? All little girls. I think my little Gracie, my little niece, she'd absolutely love this.
Haven't you got another niece?
I have got another little niece, my sister. Do you know, so I actually accidentally announced it on air when I was on Crafters TV last time. And then I realised I've gone and said that, and our Helen hasn't even put an announcement out yet to say that she's had the baby. So I was saying to everybody, it's happened, but I shouldn't really be telling you, so please don't say anything.
Twice I put my foot in it today.
No, it's all right, because our Helen has, I've officially put it on my, it's the word's out there, so panic ye not, we're all good, right? But yes, my little, do you know what they've called her? Hallie.
That's
so
gorgeous.
I've got a little niece called Grace, and now
Yeah.
I've got a little niece called Hallie as well.
Oh, everyone's having babies. My very good friend had their baby on Sunday evening. The waters broke Saturday when I was on air.
Oh,
and
wow.
then they've gone, they had the baby on Sunday. It's all very happy. Oh, baby fever.
Baby fever. Must be something in the waters. So, yes, right. Here we go. So there's this. I'm kind of half focusing on what I'm doing, and then I'm half focusing on me what I'm going to go to as well here. Where's my tape pen gone? Right. So if I do my matting and layering here. Oh, this has just reminded me of an exciting new product that me and Leanne found at a show on Saturday. Honestly, I'm itching to tell you,
not fair,
but I'm also not
Sam.
allowed to. Anyway, I saw this exciting new product, and I was so desperate to have it. I flew home on Sunday night, and I sent Leanne to the factory. So Leanne actually travelled out to the factory on Monday morning.
Amazing.
She was in the factory doing the quality tests on the product that I'd selected and doing the tweaks to make it for us. She did that on Monday morning.
And
I mean, how awesome is that?
I'm excited now.
Yeah, and because I've said I want this through for birthday week.
Will you tell me off air?
No, I can't, man, because then if I've told you, then you'll feel like you're just, and then you'll be burdened with the secret. Do you really want to be burdened with the secret, George?
Yes.
Yeah, you do.
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Did you buy the suitcasual with a little scooter on? I saw you riding
Did you
around
see
that.
that?
I saw that.
Did you see Leanne doing all the product testing as well? Why, she's so thorough. Do you know, even I'm a little bit frightened of her, and I pay her wages. I've always said this about Leanne. She's very Leanne, isn't she? She was very direct with everybody, and no, this is not good enough. I want this, I want that. No, you've got to change this. And so I was like, oh. But that's why we love her, guys. That is why we love her.
Absolutely.
Right? So, right, here we go. Let me get this on the... How fabulous does that look?
Amazing.
And how super simple, right? Remember, you've also got the little set. So this one just says the Make-A-Wish. I've done a little stamp of it, so I'm just going to pop my little Make-A-Wish just over here like this. That'll go there nicely. And then, oh, I forgot I had a little bow for her hair as well. We can add the little bow in there. How super cute is that? And how easy was that to do?
That.
I love that. And bear in mind, I took my inspiration from this one. So same sort of idea, just a different card. Aren't they lovely? So this is why you're watching. Get the idea and then go and make them yourself.
Oh, that was a good end there. Just blop over. Just right at the very end there. Well, there you go. There is your winner for demo of the week, of course. And, you know, I'm sure Sarah will be absolutely pleased and thrilled that she's won demo of the week. Right, Joe, what we're going to do is before we start to end the show, I'm going to tell you the winner in a moment, but we are going to be having the last live look at our Saturday's Goodie Bag. Now this is where at the start of the show on a Saturday when we have a goodie bag, whoever is on that side, of course Lily today, was then doing an impromptu demonstration. I can tell you she did not look in the bag whatsoever beforehand. When it comes to actually creating, it is live in front of your eyes, picking and choosing and creating for you. Now if you want to of course grab hold of this collection here of the goodie bag, £35, $45 for your platinum price, £28 or $36. Now essentially what we're going to do is, if you then see within these three items here, this is essentially what you are going to be paying for. Now this is then going to come to the equate of £35 or $45, so that's today's price. Of course even better if you're platinum, but essentially that's what you're paying for. Christmas frame dies, your 3 sparkle pens and your Gemini mini number dies. But what then you're going to be getting for no additional cost is then going to be of course your stencils from your Myths and Legends. So that one there is your 4 stencil set. You've got your Autumn Squirrels being your 10 die sets, which are your multi-craft dies. So your materials, your fabrics, your heavier woods, you're going to be able to cut with those. You've then got your 4-piece tweezer set. You've also got your Just Because sentiment die with the matte and layer to go with it. You've got your Make-A-Wish 6x6 2D embossing folder with your sentiment stamp and that curved die to work in conjunction with the folder or use them on their own. All of this, no additional cost. Your 4-piece from the Touch of Sparkle set, giving you the 2 dies, the stamp and the template for your gems or your pearls. That's in there, no cost. Grateful and Blessed, that one being a 9-piece set, 8 dies, 1 stamp. You've then got Day of the Dead is in there. You've then got your 3-piece Thankful die set in there with a couple of stamps. You've got your With Love from All of Us. That is one of the main die sets that Lily used in the demonstration earlier on. And then, of course, you're going to be getting your 12x12 Vintage Vegas 36 sheets double-sided paper pad. All of those items there, what I did just show you was of course no additional cost. So you're going to get all of what I've shown you plus essentially the 3 that we showed you at the beginning there with the frame dies, the actual sparkle pens, and then of course those number dies. £28, $36 being the platinum price. You're going to get all of that within that goodie bag. Now I've referenced a couple of times of course Lily making that demonstration earlier on, and a couple of people are wanting to see once again what Lily done. So with that goodie bag, Lily, what was it that you made earlier on with a little helping hand from me?
Yeah, I mean, Craig created that panel, so definitely a helping hand with this one. We used that lovely word cutting dies to create that sort of concept style card. Then we used some of those lovely stencils that we had in the Myths and Legends, and we added a little bit of sparkle using our sparkle pens. That's what we created, literally straight off the cuff. No seeing the bag beforehand, literally crafting on the hoof. I have just had a little thought though, that lovely embossing folder you get that has the dandelion details on, that would work absolutely beautifully alongside that die, wouldn't it?
It would, wouldn't it?
So if you get in the goodie bag, if you've got your silhouettes, then those two are going to go hand in hand, that is for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you for that today, Lily. That's been fab.
It's been fun.
I will see you again 2 weeks today.
Yes.
You are? Yes,
so.
because I'm not here next Saturday.
Not next Saturday, yeah.
But then the one after.
Yes.
Obviously, I'll see you before that when
You
I'm
will.
in. But of course, when it comes to Saturday, I will then be here 2 weeks on Saturday. Rightio, we have got a winner. Just to say, of course, Annie L on YouTube saying, this is my first Make It Saturday, and I'm going to be rewatching from the start. Hopefully you enjoyed it here every Saturday for Craft Along, and then of course Make It Saturday. Also Diane is saying, Craig's like listening to my brothers when it comes to wrestling. Right, the second winner of the show is Robin McMorrow.
Woo!
Congratulations on Facebook. You're then of course going to be getting your voucher. So all that we need you to do, Robin, is just email ctvprizes@crafterscompanion.co.uk and we'll send that voucher across to you. So it's been a really, really lovely day being here on this side on this Saturday. Again, Lily, thank you so much.
Thank you, it's been a pleasure.
It has been. A lot of fun, lots of ideas. Always go back across on the Crafters Companion YouTube and see exactly what Lily's been showing, as well as all throughout the week. Now, we have got another show tomorrow. We've got our recorded show with Ben, which is Second Chance Sunday. Social team will still be there as well to help out any questions or to interact. But we've got a little bit of a wrap up, 5 o'clock tomorrow UK time, 12 p.m. Eastern